Week 3 action at the Inferno here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Welcome to the backyard brawl between the visiting Riverdale Warriors and the hosting Blackman Blaze. Fans just keep pouring into the Inferno here, excited to see their Blaze in action. But Riverdale has brought a crowd of their own as we see the Warrior stands filling up as well. Thank you for joining us here in the MTN Sports broadcast booth. I'm Noah Brady, joined by my broadcast partner, Zachary Lone. We're excited to bring you action here tonight. High school football here in Middle Tennessee, and this is the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. Zachary, after Blackman just won their last game via forfeit last week thanks to a COVID cancellation, what did preparation look like for Coach Tygard and the Blaze coming into action for tonight's game?
Yes, they're coming off that big win against Brentwood that we were here for. That was a great game. But Coach Tygard, he treated that like a bye week. He said his players, they treated that like they were off basically all last week, no pads. And then on Friday, they started back normal practices. But the coaches, they were in studying from the start of last week, that Monday, and they acted like that game was that Friday. They were studying, and this is the most prepared they'll be for Riverdale in a while.
Both Riverdale and Blackman come into the backyard brawl 2-0, both teams exclusively having played in non-region action in weeks 1 and 2. They'll both be looking to set a tone as they'll kick off 6 single-A region action here in just a few minutes. Zach, we've been talking a lot about the stakes of this blockbuster event tonight that's been widely recognized around the Murfreesboro area. What does a victory tonight mean for the Warriors? And then let me ask you the same question about the Blaze as well.
Oh, it means a lot. It's just this pride. If you're Riverdale and Blackman, they were chirping before the game. They were going back and forth, and you just saw it. And they were just so excited to go out there. They were so excited to play. And if you're Blackman, this is one of the biggest games that you've had here in a while. Coach talked about this is the biggest game since Jawan Jennings and ESPN was playing, and ESPN came here. So if you're Blackman, how are you going to respond? If you can win this one, you'll set the Inferno ablaze. It's going to be great. It's going to be, the atmosphere is going to be incredible. And you're going to have so much energy in this program for the rest of the year. It's going to be a jump start. And if you're Riverdale, you're the number 3 team in the state. You're great. You come in here, you win this one, and you do what you're supposed to do against a really good Blackman team. It helps your confidence level, and it shows everyone that, yes, you are for real.
It is going to be a powerhouse matchup tonight. Riverdale's defense stacking up against the Blaze offense is what we're on the edge of our seats waiting to see here tonight. And Riverdale's defense, the Warriors, have yet to allow a single field goal. That's right, 0 points allowed so far for the Warriors defense. However, Blackman was able to put up 38 points in week 1 against a Brentwood, like a huge upset in Brentwood. And Zachary, how are we anticipating Blackman's offense to try and keep tempo here with the defense of Riverdale?
So I think we are going to the national anthem.
Okay.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh!
I'm going to that game.
Pre-game action here on the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. Zach, before we went to break, what I'm attempting to get to ask you was Blackman putting up 38 points against a stellar Brentwood team who year after year we have just seen play consistent, great, solid football. Turnovers came back to haunt them late in that game. So what does Blackman have to do in this game to set a tone early against a Riverdale defense?
Well, they're going to have to score. What their big thing is misdirection, and then a trick play thrown there every so often, and that's what the name of their game. They're a high-flying running gun team, or should I say fun and gun, like the papers called it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, they're so perfect. So what they do is they have Thomas and Reisner. They're in the backfield, and you never know who's going to throw it. They'll hand it off to Thomas and Thomas will run out to the right and then potentially throw it over the defense to a Justin Brown who was wide open against Brentwood multiple times. But the difference right now between Brentwood and Riverdale is Riverdale has Elijah Herring, the number 55 ranked player in the country at his position, which is that outside linebacker position, committed to the University of Tennessee, and he's a leader of that defense. And that defense is stout, as you were talking about earlier. 0 points they have given up this year.
0 points allowed,
they gave
not
up
even a field goal.
37 total yards last week. That was it. They gave away 39 passing yards and -2 rushing yards through 4 quarters. That defense is a dominant force.
Zach, you started to hit on it already, but who are some players both on the Blaze and for the Warriors in tonight's matchup that we need to keep an eye out for, and how are they going to be making an impact on tonight's game?
So first, we're going to look at Blackman. Blackman has Thomas and Reisner. They both combined for 373 yards and 4 touchdowns versus Brentwood. And their main target, Justin Brown. Justin Brown had 3 first-half touchdowns and a second-half touchdown, and that really is what led them to victory. Again, Haynes had that long 67-yard touchdown, as we saw, but it all goes through Thomas, Reisner, and Brown last week. They weren't able to get their rushing attack going through Pleasant, so they were through the air. So I talked to Coach, and we were talking about what do you do different for the rushing attack. He said, if it's not there, we're not going to force it. There's no need to force this rushing attack when our offensive passing attack is doing as good as it has been. And then look at the defensive side, Mason Russell. Mason Russell set the edge almost to perfection against Brentwood. There was those few big plays, but they weren't to his side of the ball. They did a good job of that interior defensive line of Blackman to make sure Brentwood could not penetrate through the middle. No big rushing gains went through the middle. So the interior defensive line of Blackman is going to be huge tonight. And Riverdale, again, we talked about Elijah Herring. Elijah Herring, one
of the top prospects in the nation, already committed to the University of Tennessee.
27th in the state.
27th in the state.
Yes, 27th
Incredible.
in the state. So he's a great – I mean – you're going to see him all over the field today. He flies around. You never know where he's going to be, and he's always in position to make a play on the ball. He had 7 tackles last week, 2.5 for a loss. Absolutely dominated last week.
Impressive work in week 2, even in a non-district or a non-regional game. That's impressive work.
And Riverdale, they don't throw it much, but they are economical when they do. 9 for 13 for Jamison Holcomb for 105 yards and a 97 quarterback rating. That is how good he is through the air. They did a good job of finding the open receivers and not forcing anything, as they didn't have a single interception thrown. And then when you look at the rushing attack, Marcus Lloyd, 12 carries, 90 yards, 3 touchdowns. That a majority of their touchdowns have came through the rushing attack this year. They do a good job of giving it to Lloyd, and Lloyd does a good job of picking those holes that is set in front of him and just attacking it, going straight downhill.
Yeah, an impressive stat line for sure. As we're getting ready for the Blaze to take the field, Riverdale has just entered the field of play. They're over at the 20-yard line on their side of the field. The student section is out there. The band is out there. The cheerleaders are there. We're getting set for some high school football here in Middle Tennessee. Zach, so you talked about the run game for Riverdale and how effective that's been.
Yes.
However, in week 1 of action against Brentwood here in the Inferno, Blackman forced 2 huge late turnovers via fumbles that essentially cost Brentwood the game late. How important is ball security going to be for Riverdale tonight as they're stacking up against Blackman's rush defense?
Yeah, so Blackman did a good job of putting their helmet on the ball when tackling, and that is what forced the big turnovers. But Blackman showed they are a very opportunistic defense. They do a good job of creating
2 turnovers in the last 7 minutes of the game.
Yes, they did a good job of creating those turnovers, but Riverdale's a different team. They're more of that, we're going to come right at you, and we're going to run the ball at you, and that's what we do. And what Blackman did a good job against Brentwood was getting Brentwood out of their game. Usually Brentwood's the same way. They're going to run it at you. But they didn't have that opportunity. They were down 3 scores at one point in the third quarter. Blackman went up 3 scores and forced Brentwood into more of an air attack. And if they can do that against Riverdale, again, great offense, but that puts them a little bit out of their game, and that's going to force Holcomb to step up, which he can. Holcomb has that talent. So this game is just going to be very big. It's going to be, you don't know what you're going to get in this game.
We keep coming back to the fact that Riverdale is very fundamentally sound. But, however, on the other side of the ball, Blackman, Coach Tygard's offense, it's explosive. You're going to see a lot of motion in the backfield. You're going to see a lot of stuff going on pre-snap. Does Blackman go that route again here in week 3, or do they try and stick to and try and match the fundamentally sound Riverdale offense?
That's Coach Tiger's offense. Coach Tiger's offense says we're going to run, and you don't know who's going to have the ball. He told us week 1, he said, your cameramen are going to have a hard time seeing who has the ball, and that's what their offense is. And he said that is who they are, and they are not changing their offense.
They had a 2-quarterback look coming out in week 1. We're probably going to see some more of that here tonight in week 3 as, again, Blackman was unable to play last week due to a COVID cancellation. How do you go? How does that impact you? How does that impact your football team when you're going the whole week and you prepare and you're getting ready to play on Friday night? You're stoked, you're ready to go, and then you get told, "Hey, sorry guys, you're not going to get to play."
Well, what helped Blackman last week was they found out early in the week that it wasn't going to happen. But again, they were playing to play against Gallatin, a very good team last week, and this didn't happen. But what they did was they were able to get a break. Yet they had I think they had a few minor injuries and they were able to rest up. But what that does, if you're Blackman tonight, it makes you more energized. Again, big matchup against Riverdale. If you're not ready for this Riverdale matchup game, and if you're on Riverdale sideline and you're not ready for this Blackman game, then you won't be ready for a game the rest of the year. One of the biggest games that is in the Middle Tennessee area today. But if you're Blackman, you can't come out and make bad penalties, bad mistakes. Because you have the
That was
tendency,
something that we saw to impact Blackman early on in the second half in week 1. We saw those penalties come back to bite them and put them in a position where they had to make a comeback late in the second half in week 1.
Against Brentwood, Blackman was very, very hyped up. And the very first play of the game, if you remember, there was that safety. And it was because the right tackle decided he went and got the wrong guy and left a free rusher right off the left side. And as soon as Reisner caught it, he was in the turf. He had no chance. So you just got to make sure to take a deep breath. Yes, it's great to be excited. But, again, Baby Blaze. Coach talked about this. Baby Blaze.
Year 0 for their team,
They're going to have to grow up in a hurry. That's what he said. This is the start. He said, biggest game. Again, what we're talking about, since Jawan James was in high school. So what does Baby Blaze have?
We're going to see here in just a few minutes. We're just a couple minutes away from kickoff here at the Inferno. Zach, we constantly are talking about the stakes of this game. They just announced it on the PA. It's the 2021 edition of the Backyard Brawl. Here come the Blaze as they are getting ready to storm out of their banner here. Riverdale's over at the 50-yard line taking their sideline, making sure they've got the attention of their crowd as well. Zach, as soon as the Blaze staff found out that this game against Riverdale was on the schedule this year, they started the scouting report against Riverdale. They knew that this region game, to kick off their region play here, was going to be a huge moment for this team as the fireworks are going off. The Blaze take their sideline. They're storming the sideline over here on the near side.
And
wow, there's a lot of energy in this place.
If Blackman wins this game, this is not only a season-defining win, but if you're Coach Tigard, this is one of a legacy-defining win. Honestly, one of your very first games.
This is your first region game.
Very big game against Riverdale. Riverdale is, again, ranked number 3 in the state according to the Tennessean. They are one of the best teams in 6A. To go out and beat them here after we were talking about Brentwood earlier in this game, before we were on, 1 out of 50 picked Blackman to beat Brentwood. Well, that's
and after that first play safety, we kind of thought all 49 of them were going to be right. And then after that, Blackman owned the first half.
Yes.
So if you're Blackman, are you looking for one of those game changer plays to not go in your favor early to be a tone setter for you to work later?
No. No, you go out there and you play your brand of football. What they did a good job of after that safety was they did not let it rattle them. They came out the very next drive and they went down and they scored 6. So there is going to be times, there's going to be a fumble, there is potentially a fumble, there may be a bad penalty that they call that they commit, but they just got to keep their heads on. They just keep going. Again, Riverdale, we know what we're getting from Riverdale. Riverdale is going to be a tough task for anyone in this Blackman Baby Blaze team. So, what does Blackman have to counter the overall top to bottom strength of this Riverdale team? Again, every position, 1 through 22 on the field, it's solid.
The special teams units have taken the field. Blackman will receive the opening kickoff. And we're getting set for the 2021 backyard brawl here in the Inferno as Riverdale is getting ready to kick off to Blackman.
Here we go.
Here we go. They are pumped to be here. The fans are pumped to be here. We're pumped to be here. The ball is falling off the tee just from the energy of this place. It's rocking.
Yes.
And now, here we go. It's the MTN Sports Game of the Week here. Week 3 action. Riverdale, Blackman. Here comes the kick. And we're on our way. It's going to be a short kick. It's going to bounce at about the 16-yard line, and it's going to be fielded right at about the 16. And it's going to be brought out to about the 30.
Ben Marshall was returning there.
That was Ben Marshall on the return.
And Ben Marshall was one of the guys that they were talking about, that coach talked about, look for him to get into this game. He had 0 catches last week, 2 weeks ago. But again, big 6'5" frame, 220 pounds.
He's tough to bring down, if nothing else.
Yes, but he had a few drops. He just was never able to get into the game. So, what can he do different? What are they going to do differently to try and maybe potentially get him started early?
Jack Reisner, the quarterback, number 17. He looked impressive in week 1 against Brentwood. But now here we go. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. They send a man in motion, and it's going to be a fake handoff, and it's going to be a setup screen, and it's going to be dropped in the backfield.
By Pleasant.
That's going to be an incomplete pass, and that's going to set up a 2nd down and 10 at the 30-yard line for the Blaze here on their first drive.
And there it was. They were trying to get Pleasant going early. They did that little screen pass, and he had room to run. But Pleasant right now, it may be in his head.
He's got a lot of energy. He's probably really pumped up, and here we go. They're going to get the offense back to the line in a hurry.
That's going to be a false start.
And that's going to be a false start there, so that's going to set him back 5 yards.
And it looked like that was on Justin Brown, which is on the bottom of your screen. And here it is. The first drive 2 weeks ago for Blackman went absolutely terrible. 1-play safety, and now the first play, and then the dead ball penalty. It's not looking great.
Again, we're seeing the youth of this Blackman offense. Something we talked to Coach Tygard about both in weeks 1 and week 3 are how all of his freshmen, he has 40-something freshmen on this squad, and we're starting to see that youth play a factor here early. And he's gonna be knocked right at about the 25-yard line, and on a 2nd down and 15, it's not gonna be much of a gain on the play, if any. They're gonna mark it down right at the 25, and that's gonna set up a 3rd and long, call it a 3rd and 15, again from the 25-yard line with 11.5 to go here in the first quarter of play. Third and long, Reisner gets the snap. He's going to roll out to the right side. There's a flag in the backfield, and it's going to be caught right at the 40, and it looks like after stretching the ball out, he is going to have enough for the first down at the moment.
That was a holding right at the interior offensive line, and here it comes.
So there is the holding call on the offense. That's going to set them back another 5 on the play. So it's going to be, but they will redo the down. So it's going to be a 3rd down and 20. It's going to be a 3rd down and 20 from – I'm sorry, it's going to be a 3rd down and 25 as they're going to back it up 10 yards. And it's going to be marked down at the 8-yard line. And so now we've seen a drop screen, and there's a jump from Riverdale.
Yes, and that's going to be an offsides. So that's going to be a 5-yard. Again, that's 5 yard. Good job. That was a good snap cadence there from Reisner to get the left and right ends offsides.
So that's one way for Blackman to start getting some yardage back. Is now that's going to set them up in a little bit better of a spot, but still a 3rd down and long.
And that looked like that was Smith, which is playing on the right on the left
Got
tackle
to
right
set
there.
him up at the 13-yard line. They're going to send a man in motion, and he's going to step up in the pocket. He's going to be brought down for a sack at the 6-yard line. And that's going to put Blackman in trouble early with not a 3-and-out, but nothing going in their favor for sure here.
And Malachi Coleman, he really bullied his way down the middle there. There was nothing that they could do to really stop him there. Coleman did a good job getting to the backfield and taking down Reisner. Reisner had no shot to get that ball away.
So the Blackman punting unit will take the field, and their punter is in the end zone. So he's got a high pressure situation early, and he's going to be a high snap. The punt is up and away, and it's going to be a short kick. It's going to bounce at the 35-yard line, and it's going to roll out to about midfield, where Blackman defenders will swarm the ball, and it's going to be marked down right at the 50-yard line. So that could have been much worse. It takes an early bounce at the 35, but good job for the Blackman special teams unit to try and pin back the Warriors here on their first drive.
And yeah, so that was again, what is Riverdale's offense going to do coming out here? They're going to pound it, and they're going to pound, and they're going to pound, and they're going to run right at you. So here they come.
And with that, we're going to kick it down to Abigail Martin, who has a report for us, so we're going to send it there. Up. And here we go. It's 1st and 10 for the 50-yard line for the Warriors, and it's going to be a handoff to the left side. He's going to get a stiff arm, and he's going to be a short gain of about 2 on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 8 with 10:22 to go here on 2nd down.
And Wilkinson there was the one that got stiff-armed. What a great stiff arm. He just threw him to the ground there and bounced to the outside and gained 1 yard. But Wilkinson did his job there. Yes, that's a good momentum play, but they only gained 1 yard.
So after a short gain on 1st down, it's going to be 2nd down and 8 from the 48-yard line. Riverdale already in enemy territory. It's going to be a play-action pass, and he's going to roll him out to the near sideline, and he's got some room, and it's going to be all the way down to the 30-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 18 on the play to set up the Warriors with a 1st down deep in enemy territory now.
Yes, and that was Young right there. He did that was a very easy screen pass there. Good job with the right side of that Riverdale offensive line getting downfield, and Young got what he could, get out of bounds, and now he's coming off the field, and here we go, just moving the ball right now. That's all Riverdale's doing a good job moving that ball.
Moving the ball in a hurry. They're going to go ahead and get the offense back up to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from the 30. Takes the snap, and it's going to be a handoff right up the middle, and he's got some room again, as it's going to be another solid game. And they are not able to bring him down as he gets all the way down to about the 12-yard line. Contact was initiated around the 18, maybe the 19, and it took a good almost 10 yards for the Blaze to bring down that Riverdale running back.
That's Marcus Lloyd right there. The first he had men on his back from the 21-yard line, and then just carrying them for 5 extra yards. Lloyd is a big physical running back and is hard to bring down, as you saw right there. And running between the tackles, getting ahead of steam is almost impossible to bring him down.
And there's another 1st down, and it's going to be caught at about the 10, and it looks like they'll tackle him at about the 11, possibly down at the 10-yard line.
And that's Coleman there. That was a good job. That was a very simple, sorry, I lost my mind real quick, but Coleman did a good job. That was a pass from Mitchell, looks like. Did a good job of running that slant route and came down.
So it's going to be 2nd down and about 5 to go. They line up with 3 men in the backfield, excuse me. It's going to be a handoff right up the middle. And again, the Blaze are going to struggle to bring him down, but they are going to eventually get him. They're going to get him down at that 5-yard line to set up a 3rd and short on the play.
And that was Lloyd again. They're just going to every time they give it to Lloyd, he's just lowering his helmet and then getting 4 yards. And again, those 3-4 yard gains in the second half, they're going to eventually end up going 16, 17 yards that we saw Brentwood do. Blackman, right now they're doing a good job of staying committed to that running attack, and then just staying with it.
Something that we saw from Blackman in week 1, the last time that we saw him play. They stood up on 3rd down against that Brentwood offense that had some explosive firepower to it. We're going to see how they stack up here, and they need a stop here. It's going to be another handoff right up the middle, and the Blaze swarm, and it's going to be a 4th down.
It's a loss of 2.
That's going to be a loss of 2 on the play.
The ball did come out, but that was a good job of Riverdale falling on it. And, yeah, so it's going to be 4th and about
4th and 3.
3 right there. Good job of – that was a great job of Wilkinson getting into the backfield, and Lloyd had to cut back and didn't have a head of steam going to the line of scrimmage, and then a great job of – it looks like it was Henderson making that first initial pop, and they are kicking it.
Keep an eye on Kayvon Brown on the defensive side for Blackman. He's on the edge, and he looks like he's coming in a hurry. Field goal attempt. The snap is down. Snap, hold, and good. So Riverdale strikes first in the backyard brawl here on the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. Riverdale takes an early 3-0 lead, but we call that a win. But we call that a win for the Blackman defense as they were pinned back and gave Riverdale great starting field position for their first drive.
Riverdale really had their way all the way that drive until that 3rd down. That was a good job of standing up and forcing their way into the interior. And I think we're going to head to break real quick.
We are going to head to break. We'll be right back with more first quarter action. 3-0 Riverdale here on the NFHS Network.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh.
I'm going to that game.
We got to go. We got to go. They're kicking it off.
We're in break right now.
We got to go. Okay. Welcome back to the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. Riverdale is up 3-0. They strike first here, and they're going to kick it off, send it to Blackman, and he's going to recover it at about the 10-yard line, and he's going to try and make a move, but he's going to be brought down at about the 17-yard line. That was number 12 on the play. That was Justin Brown. Again, the wide receiver for Blackman trying to make some special plays here on the special teams unit for the Blaze.
Yes, and that was a good job of number 30 there, DeAndre Tate, on the kick coverage there, getting down and then force Brown to go left or right. And Tate and Brown just tried to run him over there, and Tate didn't allow it. He just took him down and went for the legs. And now this is they're spotted inside their own 20-yard line. So
that's right at about the 18-yard line to get going here. And it looks like we've got a stoppage of play on the field, as it looks like there's a clock issue.
So they are resetting the play clock right there. But against Brentwood, this is where Blackman, started using Thomas a whole lot more.
1st and 10 here for the Blaze inside their 20-yard line. We'll call it the 18. And again, Riverdale is going to jump.
Unless it was
on the right guard for the Blaze.
That is going to be on the right guard.
Yep, it is going to be a false start, so they're going to be back 5 yards. So that's 3 penalties already early for this Blaze offense.
And it looks like they got Bautista there, the right guard. Yes, so there looks like there's going to talk about the spot, but yeah, they have to calm down. This is just penalties are very easily you can stop them. It's just they are very amped up to be in this game. But now all of a sudden, if you have a 1st and 15, you have got to start gaining yards. You can't keep losing yards.
You cannot get pinned back anymore, and that's another false start for the Blaze offense, and they're going to be pinned back even deeper, as now it's going to be a 1st down and 20 to go inside their 10-yard line. Again, by the time we've seen the Blaze start gaining yards on both of their drives back-to-back, we've seen them pinned back deep and it not account for much because they're in 3rd and deep situations.
This Riverdale defense is just so good. You cannot keep giving them yards like this.
1st down play action, and he's going to air it out, and that's going to be almost intercepted at about the 30-yard line, but it is going to fall incomplete
So right there.
And that time Reisner was trying to go to his
Brown.
man, to Brown, deep on the sideline.
And that was Mackie Bonds there. Bonds did a good job of reading it, and he almost came down with the interception. Again, pressure in Reisner's face right up the middle there. So
And still, even pinned back deep here, we see the Blaze offense start to move with a little bit of tempo here early on. Reisner from the shotgun takes the snap, and again, he's going to try and air it out, and he's going to scramble. I don't know how he got out of that, but he somehow does, and it's going to be complete to the 40-yard line for a first down and more as he's crossed midfield all the way down inside Warrior territory to about the 40-yard line.
Reisner was basically he has had 2 men on him and then stepped out of 2 tackles. Is there a penalty in the backfield there? But
Blackman
it
is
doesn't
trying
matter.
to get up to the line in a hurry.
Reisner did a good job of rolling to the left and then finding Marshall. Marshall high-pointing the ball, used his 6'5" frame to come down with it, and then just took a stiff arm and gained 10 extra yards. There's going to be a timeout, sideline warning on Riverdale. So that's what the penalty was. And again, that first one is a warning.
That is going to be a first down for the Blaze, and wow, on that play, we saw Reisner almost in the front of the end zone, scrambling out away from swarming Riverdale defenders. It was almost a safety as he was had his feet in the end zone, and he somehow stumbled his way out of that, and then sends an absolute missile down to the 40-yard line. Into Warrior territory.
That was a good job of Reisner eluding the rush. He stepped out of that tackle, but he kept his eyes down the field at all times and then found Marshall.
Crisis averted here, and now the tide is turned as that's going to be broken up at the line of scrimmage as, again, the Blaze was trying to set up a screen there, and it looks like he was trying to go to number 14 on the play. That's tight end Ben Marshall.
Again, that was common on the coverage there, but Reisner had to get rid of that in a hurry because Herring was on literally as soon as Reisner got rid of it, Herring made contact.
And
that's going to be pick
screen.
six.
That's going to be an interception, and there's nothing but green grass in front of him as that was a screen play gone wrong. The Blaze stack up 4 receivers on the top of your screen, and then it is picked off almost immediately. The Riverdale defender read it like a book and had nothing but grass in front of him.
Right there, Alexander Mitchell, that is what you get from watching film. He recognized that cover, he recognized that formation, that setup, and as soon as that ball was snapped, Mitchell started beelining his way towards in between the wide receiver there, intended receiver. Did not see the number, possibly Brown. But
Reisner made it very clear early on where he wanted to go with that ball, and it was read beautifully by the Riverdale defender.
And Mitchell, as soon as he intercepted it, there's just nothing but green grass.
And Mitchell knew as soon as he caught that ball, and so did the rest of the Riverdale crowd here, know that that was going to the house.
He could have walked that one in.
So again, Riverdale strikes, and it is 9-0 here. Extra point pending.
So that would have been.
With 5:16
so that
to go
was
in
an
first.
illegal shift on the offense, and it looks like they declined that penalty.
So with the penalty declined, extra point pending here, 9-0.
Of course you're going to decline that penalty. You want the
I
points.
mean, yeah, you want the points, of course, yeah. And Riverdale's going to line up for the extra point. Snap, hold, and the kick is good. It is 10-0 Riverdale here with 6:37 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, so now what is this Baby Blaze going to do? This is the most they've been down all year. And if you're Blackman right here, again, very early in this game, but Riverdale's defense is just that good. You just saw that. Ben Marshall, great, goes up, makes a great play. Very next play, Mitchell ends up pick 6 in that one.
And after that interception taken for the score, we're now going to send it down to Abigail Martin, who's got a report for us in front of our broadcast booth. Abigail, what do you got?
side of what the coach had to say.
That his team had to make sure that they were able to stay disciplined. They can't get distracted with everything else that's going on. There's a lot of fans out here tonight. Student section, band, everything is very loud. That rivalry sense of a game, it's definitely out here tonight. Riverdale has the lead, and that's something that they're wanting to maintain. Coach said that during these games, during the past that they've had, they always tend to get in the fourth quarter, and that's when they kind of lose it, and it just really comes down to a last-minute sort of game. So he said it's going to have to take getting your head straight, getting the momentum early, and then over on the Blackman Blaze side, they're excited for another football game. They didn't get to play last Friday, but were able to get a huge victory against the Bruins in week 1. He said that that's something that's keeping their momentum up. However, having that bye week, he wasn't really sure how his team was going to perform, if they were going to be able to get back into the swing of things. However, both teams actually were both like, this is something that's part of being in Rutherford County, being in Middle Tennessee. This is the rivalry that you want to see. And I can tell you guys, I don't know how far we're going to go with this, but there may or may not be a certain SEC scout here in the stands tonight. I'll see if I can get you guys any more information, but the rivalry is definitely in tonight. Riverdale with the lead. They're going to want to try to maintain that. However, Blackman's wanting to get it up. Back to you guys.
All right, and thank you, Abigail, for that. So the stakes of this game just went from great to greater as Riverdale sends the kick down to Blackman. That Riverdale defense still holding. Oh, and we've got a little bit of trickery. Is going to be sent all the way across the field, and then that Blaze special teams.
And that's going to be a 15-yard penalty at the end.
For unsportsmanlike conduct as he's taken out at the 12, and then they're going to bring it out to about the 22, 23-yard line.
Just the discipline right there of that Riverdale kick coverage team to recognize that Brown, and yes, and here comes the unsportsmanlike conduct on the Riverdale there, stood over and you can't do that in college sports. No, excuse me, high school sports. You can't do that in college sports either. But anyways, the discipline there to fill their lanes, and then Brown, as soon as he caught it, he was stuck.
Again, we see Brown trying to make those plays early, even on the special team side of the ball, to no avail early on for the Blaze offense.
Coach Tiger tried to dig into his book of trick plays and did the little Music City Miracle action.
Absolutely.
But Riverdale was having none of that.
1st and 10 here, so now they are going to bring it out to pass to 25, about the 27-yard line. And it looks like there's a stop on the field of play as they are going to respot the ball. And, okay, so here we go. Or just stop the clock momentarily, excuse me. So 1st down here at the 28-yard line. Reisner takes the snap, and he's under pressure again here early, and that's going to be dropped at the 1st down at the line of gain. And that's going to be dropped. So 2nd down and 10, again, from the 28-yard line with 6.5 to go, 6.5 minutes to go here.
Again, Woodruff, they played back, and they played a little bit of a zone there. Woodruff read Reisner's eyes. Reisner's telegraphed where he was going. Woodruff came up, and if the ball was a little higher, that could have been intercepted. It looked like Woodruff beat them to the spot. And
there was a penalty on the play. I missed what the call was. Oh, it was a roughing. Okay, so it was a 15-yard penalty, and that's going to be an automatic 1st down for the Blaze. They're going to bring it out to the 43-yard line. 1st and 10. So now we start to see that discipline working both ways, with now Riverdale having back-to-back huge penalties as the pass from Reisner is going to go incomplete to the near sideline, and he was trying on that play. He was trying to go to number 14, again, tight end Ben Marshall. Trying to get Marshall involved here early.
Again, that's what Coach talked about. Look for Marshall to potentially get involved. But that play was made by Justice Santiago. Santiago went right up the middle there and had pressure on Reisner's face.
2nd and 10 at the 43-yard line, and they're going to send a man in motion from the backfield, and it's going to be a handoff right up the middle for a gain of about 4 on the play. We'll call it a 2nd and 6 at the 47 on still the Blaze side of the ball.
It actually going to be 3rd and 6, but right there they put Jalen Pleasant in motion, and Reisner did a little bit of a jet pass, touch pass type of deal, and Pleasant was able to, as he almost got him offsides again. That looked like that was
close.
That was really close, but that was
So 3rd and 6, and he's going to send a man across the backfield again, and he's going to launch it all the way to the near sideline, and that's going to be dropped at the 30-yard line. So it'll be
It's going to be fourth down.
It'll be a fourth down for the Blaze offense here.
And again, as we learned in week 1, Coach Tigard, he uses a analytical system that tells him the percentage of winning if he goes for it on fourth down or if he goes for 2. And right now, the percentage is better if they go for it. So that is why the offense is still out here.
3 wide receiver set here with a man in the backfield for Reisner in this Blackman offense. He's got the tight end on the other side of the line blocking for him. And it is going to be a punt, an out-of-formation punt. And it's going to depend on where it gets down. Yep, and the Blaze recovery team is going to, or the kickoff team is going to dive into the end zone to no avail, though, as that ball is going to roll into the end zone. Almost, though. Almost.
That's one of those quick punts from Reisner, and Reisner almost pinned him inside the 1-yard line. And Blackman fans weren't very happy about that one.
As now with Riverdale's offense taking the field, we're going to cut to break real quick. When we come back, we'll have more first half action here in the Inferno. Stick here with us right here on the NFHS Network. First and 10, and it's going to be a play-action pass with a screen out to the halfback in the backfield, and he's going to be across the 40-yard line, still with some room to go, and he's going to shed Blaze tackles left and right and get down into Blaze territory at the 47-yard line.
And that's
huge play coming out of the break, Zach. I'm glad we got back just in time.
Marcus Lloyd right there, that was a good job, and that's actually a running play. He did a good job of just tossing it out, and Lloyd got into that open space. And once Lloyd gets in open space, he has that extra gear, and it's really tough to bring him down. And he's a big physical back, so it takes most of the time it takes 1 to 2 people to take him down. So good job there, Blackman's defense of tracking back. But again, a big 40-yard gain to start this drive.
Both these offenses are playing a dangerous game, throwing that ball around in the backfield as much as they do, because we know if that hits the ground, that counts as a fumble if it's still behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but they practice these plays enough that's very rarely going to happen.
Risky offense, to say the least, and it's going to be a first down, and it's going to be overthrown over the head of number 6 for the
Lloyd.
Riverdale offense. That's Lloyd again. We've seen him have an impact early on in this game.
Lloyd, that went through Lloyd's hands. That was going to be a very tough catch there as Holcomb tried to find him.
But if he comes down with that again, he had a lot of turf in front of him.
He could have broke that one for 6, and then you're looking at a 16-0 game. Blackman's defense here has to get a stop.
4:20 to go here, 2nd and 10 on the 47-yard line of the Blaze. Riverdale moving the ball again effectively and in a hurry.
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback's going to line up with 2 men in the backfield. And it's going to be a handoff right up the middle. And it's going to be a gain of about 2 on the play to set up a 3rd and long. We'll call it a 3rd and 8 at the 45-yard line.
Again, that was just, it looks like, they handed off to Lloyd. Lloyd went between the left and right tackle, and he almost broke through except for the right end there. CJ Steele was able to track back and take him down after a gain of 2. Now, if you're Blackman here, you have to get off the field. There is no ands, ifs, or buts about it, because if Riverdale scores here, they go 3 scores in the first quarter, and that is very difficult to come back from. Again, Baby Blaze team, let's see what they are made of right here.
Riverdale's going to stack it up with just a 2 wide receiver set. And they've got a man in the backfield off the hip of the quarterback. It's in the shotgun. It's going to be a fake handoff, play-action pass. And he's going to be sacked on the other side of midfield, back in Warrior territory at the 49-yard line.
And that was number 95, Mason Russell. Guy we highlighted in the open, came right up the middle, but Holcomb there, he stood flat-footed. And if you stand flat-footed in the pocket for too long, he'd never felt Russell coming back on top of him. So Holcomb could have very easily rolled to the right, but Russell right there did a good job coming right up the middle and then getting that big stop, and that's a huge sack there for Blackman.
Punt coverage team comes out for the Blaze as we see Ben Marshall, the tight end, deep to receive this kick. He's back at the 13-yard line. snap, and it's going to be a skyrocket of a kick that's going to go straight up in the air and come right back down and take a horrible bounce for Riverdale as the Blaze are going to get this ball at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, so right now, Blackman, if you're Blackman, you
have
need,
to capitalize here.
You don't have to score here, but you need to start getting some offense going. Your offense has really done nothing. It's been stagnant except for 1 to 2 plays. And right now, this Riverdale defense, again, we talked about, they gave up 37 total yards last week. And being down 10, it can start weighing on you for Blackman. Like, this is one of the best defenses in the Middle Tennessee era. Actually, probably one of the best defenses in the state of Tennessee. So they need to start getting stuff going and quick. And that's going to be an offsides.
That is going to be an offsides on the play as that's going to move the Blaze up 5 yards to start. So great start for the Blaze as they're already at the 45-yard line, closing in on enemy territory.
So right there, what they did was Reisner, to force the encroachment, Reisner clapped his hands and started rolling to the right. And the Riverdale player saw Reisner start running and thought Reisner had the ball and jumped offsides. And again, and here they go, and they're doing the same thing.
And they're going to set up. Here's that 2-quarterback look that we've seen from Blackman. And he's going to step up in the pocket and throw it across midfield out to 45-yard line where Ben Marshall is going to go down. A little awkward, but it looks like he's okay. He's up fine on the play.
And right there, that's
he came down on his shoulder pretty hard.
Peyton Thomas, he is electric. They call him Johnny Manziel. Just his ability to step up in the pocket, jump, throw. You never know where. Oh, it's going to be fumbled.
Fumble in the backfield as Reisner is able to fall on it. But that was almost trouble again for the Blaze offense. That's what I was talking about earlier when I said some of that passing going on in the backfield pre-snap.
That was more of just a handoff right there. And this wasn't handled cleanly there, but it looked like Reisner thought that he was handing off to Thomas, and Thomas did not. As you look right here,
he's gonna be back, and he's gonna roll out to the near side.
This is coming back,
and it's coming back. It's going to be caught by Ben Marshall there at the 45-yard line. And it's fumbled, stripped, and ripped away by the Riverdale defenders. And he is off to the races with some speed, and he's going to get it back across. Now, what's going to happen here?
That's a block in the back, and that is why Herring is going to the University of Tennessee. Peyton Thomas held it out too far. Herring got his hand on the ball and just ripped it straight out of his hands.
That's going to be added to the end of the play as well. So we're going to see it marked down at the 36-yard line for the time being. The flag was picked up.
It's going to be holding.
The Blackman defense, and so the penalty is going to be declined, and it's going to be a first down for Riverdale at the 37-yard line, excuse me.
Yeah, so it's not added to the end of the run because it was on the offensive side.
It was on the Blaze offense, yes.
It was on the Blaze offense. So if that would have been potentially a illegal contact or something after the interception, yes, that is tacked on. But
since it happened before the fumble and it was on the Blaze offense, the play stands. First down for Riverdale at the 37-yard line, and they're just going to keep going back. As it's another handoff up the middle for a short gain. We'll call it a gain of 4, but that's effective on first down. 2nd and 6.
Get that 3 times and you move the chains. Again, just hand it off to Lloyd. Lloyd right now, he is their workhorse.
Lloyd has nothing to stop him.
Lloyd is their workhorse. And, again, this is another big possession for Blackman. If you can hold them to 3 points here, that's a big win. But you're still down 13-0, and you just saw that is 2 turnovers for Blackman already.
2 turnovers
in the first quarter.
2 turnovers for Blackman already. Like you said, here we go. 2nd down and 6. 1:22 to go here. 2nd down. And there's going to be a whistle. There's going to be a stoppage of play. As it was a timeout called by Coach Tygard and the Blackman defense.
They saw something that they did not like, and they called a timeout right
before. Called a timeout at the last second. He ran over to that side judge to get the timeout. And so 1:08 to go here. So, Zach, like you were talking about, 2 early turnovers for the Blackman defense, or for the Blackman offense. And, wow, what tone setters they have been. But Blackman is still very much in this game. Are you surprised to see them still holding it as close even after all the mistakes that they've made on the offensive side of the ball.
It is 10-0. Yeah, if
The score
Riverdale
could be a
scores
lot
here-
worse.
Yes, it could. It definitely could. If Riverdale scores here and goes up 17-0, then Blackman is on red alert. They have got to score the next drive because you cannot go down 17 points at the end of the first quarter.
You hold
or-
them here, though.
or
You
the
go
second.
down and score even a field goal. It's a one-possession game again, and you're right back in this thing.
Yes.
Mistakes included, or in mistakes or no mistakes. For third down, and it's going to be or second
That's gonna
down,
be thrown
excuse me. It's going to be
behind.
thrown behind him, an incomplete pass, and that's going to set up a 3rd and long here again for the Riverdale offense.
And that was just a medium slant from Coleman, and Holcomb wasn't able to connect there.
That's going to be a hold on the defense.
So that is going to be an automatic first down. Yeah, so automatic first down. That's a killer. You had it
That
third
is a
and long.
killer.
You had it
You had a
third and
third and long
medium third and long
situation.
situation. And now they have the ball inside the 20-yard line, inside the red zone here.
See what they marked.
Oh,
it.
roughing
They're
the
gonna
passer. It's
Oh,
roughing
it
the
was gonna be,
passer.
okay. Roughing the passer. I was about to say they moved it a little far for a hold on that one, but with the roughing the passer, that's 15 added. That's 15 added on, automatic first down, and now here we go.
look-
Riverdale's in striking position.
Look for some pressure here from Blackman. Blackman is going to try and get them out of their rhythm as Lloyd is in the backfield. Maybe they hand it off to Lloyd again.
They've got Lloyd lined up in the backfield. He's off the right hip of the quarterback, lined up in the shotgun. It's a snap, and they are going to go. It's going to be a play-action pass, and
Did he get there?
caught and dropped at about the 14-yard line.
Good job there by the Blaze defender, getting there, timing it to perfection, and got his hand in at the same time the ball arrived and was able to knock it down. So now, second and 10. Now, I mean, if you're Blackman, these next 2 plays are critical. I know we've been talking about this the whole drive, but if they give up a touchdown here and they go down 3 scores,
You're on red alert, like you said.
yes, it's not looking good for Blackman if they score if Riverdale scores a touchdown here.
However, if they can hold him, like we said, they're still very much in this game. They hold him here, even if they hold him to a field goal, they make it 13. They make it 13-0. It's still a 2-possession game, and they bring that pressure as we anticipated, and that's thrown. He had a man heading to the back pylon of the end zone, and he just missed him. He missed his target on that one.
Israel Celestine. And Celestine right there, he was wide open. He looks like he beat Braylon Meek there. And he was throw on target from Holcomb, and Celestine is walking into the end zone. Now it's 3rd and 10.
3rd and 10. This is where the Blackman defense is going to be tested. We saw that so many times against Brentwood where they stepped up on those big 3rd down plays and step up and make those huge defensive plays that kept them in that game enough to be in striking distance to win late. Will we see the same story here? We're going to find out right here. It's going to be a play-action pass, and the Blaze are going to bring pressure. It's going to be lobbed to the left side, on the left sideline, and they're going to walk it in
That's
for a
Lloyd.
Riverdale score here to make it 16-0 at the 1-minute mark of the first quarter. That was just that. I thought he was throwing that football away, but he just lobbed it up, and he had a man sitting there.
Yes, he did. And all that was Lloyd. He got out, and Blackman did not recognize where he was on the field. And Lloyd just snuck his way out to the left side and basically was able to walk in, like you said.
Extra point pending here. It'll be 17-0. Riverdale will go up against Blackman again with 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. Here comes the extra point. Snap, hold, and the kick is up and good. 17-0 Riverdale against Blackman here, closing in on the end of the first quarter. Now Blackman's on red alert, like we talked about. Now do we see them kind of go away from some of that trick, Coach
No.
Tygart trickery? So they're going to stick with it.
You have to.
You have to stick to what you know, right?
Yes, especially when you're down. It's not like Blackman is a heavy run team. Blackman is a fun and gun, like we were talking about earlier. They're a fun and gun team. And right now, that is where you're down 17 points, but you're not out of it with this type of offense. And they started moving the ball a little when they had Thomas and they had Reisner in the backfield that last drive. So maybe look for a little bit more of that And maybe potentially on this drive, look for that play that they threw to Brown for their first touchdown last week, which was Riser handed it off to Thomas. Thomas came to the bottom of your screen, which you're looking at right now, and then threw it over the top to Brown, who was wide open and nobody caught him.
Walked it in.
Yeah, walked
exactly.
in. So here it is. Maybe look for that during this drive. We have not seen that yet. What Thomas does is he brings electricity to the offense.
Thomas indeed does bring that electricity to the offense, as does that 2 quarterback package that they run. With that combination of that Brown and Ben Marshall on that offense, they've got some firepower. They're not out of it yet. Here we go. It's going to be sent back, fielded at about the 10-yard line. It looks like Marshall, and he's going to run it up past the 20 out to the 30, we'll call it the 31-yard line, as the Blaze are going to set up here. First down, they got to go down here and score.
Yeah, so as it looks like, as you just see on your screen, number 37, Nate Solis, he's trying to pump his offense up. He's like, hey, come on, guys, let's go. Let's get going. And the 2 times Blackman hasn't been able to move the chains, that is when Herring stripped the ball straight out of Marshall's hands. And that is when you just saw Mitchell just pick-six it. Alexander Mitchell read it to perfection and pick-six it. So Blackman is making costly turnovers right now. But, again, opportunistic defense from Riverdale.
Jack Reisner lines up in the shotgun with a man behind him, and he's going to hand it off to the left side. And he's going to shed the first tackle, but then the second wave of Riverdale defenders is going to bring him down for a short gain. We'll call it a gain of 1. 2nd and 9 here with 35 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Yes, so that may have been, as they're still going to go up-tempo, I thought that could have been the last play of the quarter, but it doesn't look like they have Thomas in right now. So they're going to have to start airing the ball out, though.
Same formation again here for the Blaze offense, as there's the snap, and it's going to be a play-action pass, and Reiser's going to roll out to the right-hand side, and he's going to attempt to air it out, and that's going to be caught at the 48-yard line. He did thread the needle on that one. Beautiful play-action pass. He did a great job of selling the play-action, and then just hit his man as he was heading for the sideline.
And that was a great job by Damika Dowdy, recognizing where the soft spot of the zone was, and he got to that area, and Reiser was able to find it.
5 seconds left on the clock, and that's going to be the last play here of the first quarter, depending on when they stop the clock.
Yes, it is.
That is going to be the last. That is going to be the last play of the first quarter. So with that, Riverdale, after the first quarter of play here, holds a 17-point lead against the Blaze here at the Inferno in the 2021 Backyard Brawl. And with that, with the quarter break here, we're going to send it to the break. When we come back, we'll have second quarter action here on the MTN Sports Game of the Week on the NFHS Network.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2.
I'm going to that game.
Second quarter action here on the NFHS Network, and it's going to be a handoff that's going to turn into a pass from the backfield, and he is going to be clobbered after a gain of about 5 yards on the play. That's going to set up a 2nd and 5, and the Blaze are moving with some tempo as they look to the sideline to get the signal.
Demarius Smith right there with a big hit.
Yeah,
huge
hit.
Right there, that was that play I was talking about. Reisner hands it off to Thomas, and Thomas found Ben Marshall. So maybe look for a little bit more of
Reisner
that.
to Thomas to Marshall on that last one, as that's going to be another completed pass for a first down at the 37-yard line, now in Warrior territory, deeper into Warrior territory, Set up another first down, and this is a different Blaze offense that we saw in the first quarter.
Yes, definitely. They're moving up high tempo, and they're taking what the defense is giving them. In the first quarter, it looked like Reiser was trying to force things, and that's what led to the pick 6. And then when they were moving the ball, Marshall try to get those extra yards, especially when you have a guy like Herring.
Again, moving with tempo here. Reisner fakes the handoff to Thomas, and he's going to send it, and he almost – that's going to be pass interference. So there it is on first down. They send a bullet over the middle on the play action. They sell the play fake, and then it's going to be a pass interference call, and that's going to get them down to the inside the 20-yard line on the play.
And they're calling that on that calls on Brandon Korn for something. It looked like he got there on time. From our vantage point, like he got there on time, but the referee did not think so. So that's going to be that 15-yard penalty on that first down. What's that noise? What's that?
First and 10 here for the Blaze inside the 20-yard line. At the 21-yard line, excuse me. As there is a stoppage of play on the field. Officials gather at the line of scrimmage.
Must score here. Must score here.
This deep in Riverdale territory, you got to put the first points up of the year against that Riverdale defense if you want any shot of getting back into this game here in the first half. They're gonna fake this. They're gonna fake the handoff, and they're gonna send it out to the near sideline. And I believe that was number 12 on the play. That was Justin Brown.
That was a good job there, and great discipline by the right side of that Blackman offensive line. When you see a guy like Herring staring at you, you're tempted to maybe, brush him a little. But so on that screen pass to Brown, they just went ahead and they let him go around them, and then it was just a very easy throw to Brown for that
They're going to send it over to Thomas on the near sideline. He's going to send one to the back corner of the end zone, and he overthrows Ben Marshall, but gosh, he had him wide open.
That was going to be a very tough throw on the run, and you would have to put that perfectly in the back corner of the end zone. He threw it high to where only Ben Marshall could get it, then no one was going to get it. And that's what you have to do there. He threw a jump ball, but now it's third and then a yard.
Third and a yard there. So on second and short, it makes sense for them to go for the long ball there, but now you got to pick up this first down. And again, they send Peyton Thomas in motion. It's going to be a direct snap to him, and he's going to do a QB sneak right up the middle and have enough for the Blaze first down.
Again, and there's a flag, and I don't know where
it's going to be a late flag on the play.
And see, here's the thing. It doesn't matter, even if this is on the Blackman offense, it's going to be a first down because it happened after the play. It's going to be a dead ball foul, so a first down for Blackman no matter what. But it looks like it's going to be on Riverdale.
From the way that the Blaze offense was gesturing, it did look like it is going to be against the Warriors.
But right there, again, you never know where the ball is going. Yep. And there it is.
It's going to be a first down inside the 10-yard line. First and goal for the Blaze for the first time tonight.
Yes, from the 5 on personal foul again. But you never know where the ball's going to go with this offense. You just don't. That's why
we've seen Peyton Thomas line up in so many different spots tonight already, and we're only in the second quarter.
Yes. I mean,
so here's another unique formation. I don't even know who just got that, but that's a Wildcat formation that's going to lead to a Blaze score.
Kayvon Henderson right there. Again, we saw that against Brentwood when we were here. Just when they need a short yard situation, a guy as big as Henderson, they would just snap it, and Henderson runs behind the big offensive line from the Blaze, and that did not fail him that time. And now Blackman is back in this game.
Blackman is back in this game, and for the first time all year, we've seen Riverdale's defense allow points.
And there is
a stoppage of play on the field, as it looks like they were lining up for what would have been a two-point conversion, and Did Riverdale call the timeout, or did we just have a stoppage of play?
No, there's a penalty.
There's a penalty on the play.
Yes, and it looks like this could. This could be on Blackman.
A lot of uncertainty as the officials discuss here at about the 10-yard line as to what the verdict on the field is. But anyway, as we said, yes, this is the first time that Riverdale's had allowed points on the board to the other team all year long. And even though, yes, both their opponents in weeks 1 and 2 were non-region opponents, that was still impressive to see them shut out 2 opponents in back-to-back weeks. And now the Blaze have some momentum on their side as we're still early here in the first half. They're not out of this yet.
So that was an unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense and the defense. So those are offsetting. We don't get to hear the numbers, so don't really know what happened or who did it. But
it looked
again,
like there
one
was
of those
some action
strange
after the snap there.
formations,
Yes.
One of the strange formations that they may be kicking it.
And so what initially looked like a 2-point conversion was pending. Now it looks like the kicking unit is on the field, and the Blaze are going to go for the extra point.
Never mind. No, they're putting Henderson again in the Wildcat.
Oh, they are lining up in the Wildcat formation.
They're running right behind the center.
And they're going to go for the same
And
play
he didn't get it
again,
that time.
and he did not get it. He's going to get close down to about the half-yard line, but the official is waving his hand saying no good. And so the Riverdale defensive front holds strong as it remains 17-6 with 10 minutes and 10 seconds to go here in the second quarter.
Again, but that was a big touchdown from Blackman. Got themselves back in the game. 2-score game instead of a 3-score game. So now now can Blackman's defense hold Riverdale?
And with that, we're going to take a break here. We'll be right back with more action here on the NFHS Network with the MTN Sports Game of the Week. We'll be right back after this.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
And we're back here on the NFHS Network with the MTN Sports Game of the Week. Backyard brawl action going on here. Huge game in the 6A region action here as the Blaze send it to Riverdale after scoring and making it 17-6. It's going to be fielded in the end zone, so that'll be a touchback, and they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line for a first down for the Warriors. 10 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in the first half as we're approaching the midway mark through, as actually we're just a couple minutes into the second quarter here.
Yes, so
Zach, so how big is this drive for the Blaze defense?
well, they really haven't been able to stop Lloyd and that offense the past couple of drives. Holcomb really hasn't been as accurate this week as he was last week, but he's still doing a good job of managing the offense and getting, and when he needs to make a play, he's making a play. And Lloyd is just, again, tough to bring down. He is a difference maker for the Riverdale Warriors.
So 1st and 10. 2 men in the backfield alongside the quarterback.
That's
it's going to be
a false start.
They're going to fake the handoff, and then, yes, a false start will be pending. And that's going to set them back 5 yards, so that's a good start if you're the Blaze. Great start to that drive. That's going to set them back at 5 yards, set up a 1st and 15. Still with 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter. First and 15.
It looks like
at
the left
15,
side of the Riverdale offensive line all moved. They were a tenth of a second too quick.
Tenth of a second too quick indeed. To be back to the 20-yard line for the Warriors. Quarterback lined up in the shotgun, and it's going to be a fake handoff, and it's going to be sent out to the halfback on the play. And there's that stiff arm again as he's just past the 20-yard line. Gets a couple of yards on that one. We'll call it a gain of 2 out to the 22. So it'll be a 2nd and 13 on the play.
And what a great throw there from Holcomb. We were just talking about how he's been inaccurate sometimes. He threw that right over Kayvon Henderson's hand. Henderson was in the passing lane there, but he was able to throw it with just enough arch, stumbled over my words there, to get it out to Lloyd. And Lloyd gave his patented stiff arm.
Buddy, with as much as you talk on the air, I'm surprised you don't stumble over your words a little bit more. He's going to fake the handoff here on second down, and he's going to roll out to the right-hand side, and that's going to be tipped, fumbled, dropped, broke up by the Blaze defender deep in the secondary. What a great defense on the play, but gosh, a missed opportunity by the Blaze secondary there.
Braylon Meek there, as that is going to be a penalty. I don't know who, excuse me. It looks like
they dropped it on the
defense.
Riverdale sideline.
It's going to be holding on the defense, so it wouldn't have mattered anyways. But still, if you're Braylon Meek, you need to make that play. You saw a couple of drops 2 weeks ago from him.
Out here in front of us on the Blaze side on the Blaze sideline and up here in the Blaze stands, we saw so many hands go up and then just go down all of a sudden within seconds.
At the end of the day, it didn't matter, but
at the end of the day, it doesn't matter still. That's a huge momentum play.
Yes. As if Holcomb snaps right now, there's
one defense. Yeah, there's one defender and 2 receivers down here, and he's going to drop into coverage, and they are going to send it down the right sideline, and that's going to be broken up by the Blaze defender. I believe that was number 21 on the play, Dyson Bell. Great coverage down the sideline.
And Holcomb had his receiver there just a little bit underthrown, as it's just a simple streak route, and they had literally, he burned the Blackman defender there.
Did burn the Blackman defender, but he was able to catch up to him and mess with it just enough to break up the play.
Yes, so
it's going to be second down and 10 from the 31-yard line for the Warriors. It's going to be a handoff to the left side, and he's got some room out in front of him as he's across the 40, and he hurdles over a Blaze defender and gets across midfield over to about where they'll mark it down at the 48-yard line inside Blaze territory.
And that is Young right there, and oh my goodness, what? And
he cleared the man completely.
And I think they may be talking because hurdling, I think, is illegal in high school, but still, what an athletic play.
As of right now, there's no call on the play, but it does look like there's going to be a stop of play here. Officials are gathered here on the near sideline as they are discussing. And while we have a stop in action here, we're going to send it down to Abigail Martin here in front of our broadcast booth. Abigail, what do you got for us?
Scoreboard. After speaking with Coach Tiger before the game, I want to make sure that we remember that they have an analytical system that NFL teams also use. So they're using something that in real time is showing them if they make this decision with a correct execution, that they should be able to lead to the victory or the loss of that team. So that's definitely what we saw there when after that touchdown, going with that 2-point conversion, although failing. But even during that, I did happen to overhear the ref. That penalty was for unsportsmanlike conduct. He said there was a lot of talking and it wasn't really quitting up. So as I mentioned earlier during warm-ups, these teams are fired up and they're keeping their heads screwed on, as we see with this close game, 17-6, just before the half. So we have a lot of action left here to come, but we got to make sure that we're looking at those executions and especially the details and the play style that they're having. Back to you guys.
And welcome back here as we just saw a huge play there from the Blaze defense as it's going to set the Riverdale Warriors back.
And yes, so they did call that a personal foul penalty for hurdling. Hurdling is not allowed in high school because of the potential injury risk. But right there, that's the first time all night that a Blackman defender has Matt Lloyd in the hole and basically stopped him in his tracks. So now you have a 3rd and long if you're the Blackman defense.
You've got a 3rd and deep situation here.
You need to take advantage of that hurdling penalty.
3rd and deep situation here, as you said, Zach, and he's in the shotgun formation. He's got a man on his right hip, and he's looking, he's searching, he's scrambling, and he's going to step up in the pocket and throw it, and it's going to be tipped by a Riverdale receiver and then fall to the ground. It's going to set up a 4th and long here for the Warrior offense.
And Holcomb right there did a good job of staying in the pocket, waited, and then threw it as soon as he got hit. And that's a very tough reception to come down with if you're the Riverdale wide receiver there. But if you're Holcomb, you want them to make that play.
So still not the ideal situation for the Blazers. They're still down by 11 with 8:27 to go here in the second quarter, but a defensive stop nonetheless to get their guys off the field and try and get the offense, the blazing hot offense, back on the field. As that one's nearly blocked, and it's going to be a great kick all the way down to the 35-yard line, and then he's going to be tackled after about a 9-yard return on the play to about the 44-yard line, and that's where the Blaze will set up shop.
And there is an injured player on the field.
And it looks like
– oh, he got up, though.
He's up.
Yes.
Officials time, and after they called the officials timeout, he was up very quickly, and now he's back on the ground, as it looks like he might have tried to stand up a little too quickly there.
So it looks like that's Brandon Korn.
And there, it looked like he was trying to get off the field because he knew that the offense, the Riverdale defense, was getting ready to take the field, and he was trying to get off the field in a hurry, but it looks like, but then he realized that they had called a timeout for him, and he went back down to the ground. But he's walking off now. He's hobbling off at this point. So glad to see him walking off on his own.
Definitely. It's always good to see, especially high school athletes, being able to walk off after their injuries. But now, can Blackman's offense score again? Because this Blackman defense has done a good job of keeping them in the game up to this point.
Absolutely, and they're going to set up 1st down and 10 at the 45-yard line. That's where Reisner will take the 1st down snap, and he's going to be hit as he throws, and that's going to be intercepted back at the Warriors' 40-yard line, and he's got nothing but turf in front of him as he's going to walk this in for a Warriors touchdown on the play.
And that is Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Mitchell. Alexander Mitchell with his 2nd pick 6 of the game. Did a good job. That was a good job of the pressure from the Riverdale defensive line getting to Reisner as soon as he threw the ball.
Pressure
and that ball
the throw.
floated, and Mitchell caught it, and as soon as he turned, there was nothing but green grass ahead of him and a whole army of Warriors running down the field with him.
Reisner had Brown going down the sideline, and that's where he was looking. But then, as you said, the defensive pressure of the Warriors gets to the Blaze offense once again, and it's a costly turnover as it turns into points rather quickly. Extra point here for the Warriors. There's the snap, hold, and it is up. And no good as as it goes to the wide of the uprights.
So it's still a 2-possession game.
Still a 2-possession game. That's huge there. 2 2-point conversions, and this is a tied football game.
Yes.
And with that, we're going to send it to a break. 7:35 left here in the second quarter as Riverdale extends the lead 23-6 here in the Backyard Brawl on the NFHS Network. We'll be back right after this.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh!
I'm going to that game.
And we're back here with the MTN Sports Game of the Week on the NFHS Network as we've seen Riverdale's defense take over here in the first half, capitalizing on 2 turnovers, 2 pick sixes, that is. And it's going to be a line drive kick on the ground, not going to get more than 5 feet in the air. And there's a lot going on down here, helmet to helmet down there at the 25-yard line, as we've got a huge feud between the special teams units. And there were guys getting into it all over the place on that one.
That was C.J. Steele and Antonio Woodard right there that were helmet to helmet. But good job of the officials getting in there, breaking it up, and then they went their separate ways. So now here we go. It is 23-6.
23-6 here.
I think that score is wrong, but it's what is on the scoreboard because he missed the extra point.
No, it's 23-6.
It
Yep,
is?
that is correct.
That is right.
Yes.
Excuse me, my bad.
All right, there's the handoff here on first down. And is this going to go to the right-hand side on the draw play? And that's going to be close to a first down. We'll see where they mark it down at. And it looks like they are going to put it short of the first down. I don't know about that spot there. But
that was a good spot. Good spot.
It's at the 41-yard line, 2nd and 3 on the play, and it's going to be the same play back-to-back, and that one's going to be stacked up in a hurry as it's going to be down at the 39-yard line. A loss of 2 on the play, and it's going to be a 3rd and 4. And that was within less than 30 seconds. Blackman went from a 1st and 10 to now a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, exactly. And Elijah Herring did a good job right there recognizing the play coming off the left tackle there, and then
Reisner's got the snap, and he's going to throw it out to his halfback, and he's going to have to fall on that one.
And it's going to be incomplete. Now, are they going to go for it?
It's going to be an incomplete pass. It's going to be 4th and about 5 on the play. As we'll see what the Blaze offense and Coach Tygard does here on 4th down.
Very, very, very aggressive offense from Tygard.
We've seen that on the 2-point conversions. We've seen that on 4th down attempts, and we've even seen that with 3rd and long, them going with some explosive plays or attempting to make some explosive plays.
So they are
going to go for it. 4th and 5. Reisner tries to draw the defensive front offside, and there is going to be a timeout on the play. And that's going to be a defensive timeout, as you said, by Riverdale. 6:43 to go here in the second quarter of play. So with that, do you think we'll see the Blaze come out again and make another attempt on 4th down, or do you think we'll see a punt here?
I honestly don't know. Again, very, very, very stingy and opportunistic defense is what we've seen so far from Riverdale tonight. And this is almost make-or-break territory for Blackman. You haven't been able to stop their offense all night. Lloyd has had his way. Holcomb has done a good job of moving the offense up and down the field. The big thing is, right now, is if you're the offense, I mean, you've given up 2 pick sixes, and you've put in your defense in a very bad spot.
Secure the ball, but more than anything. At least get some time off this clock. So they are going to bring the offense back out here on 4th down. It's going to be 4th and 5 from the 38.5-yard line. As the Blaze are going to line up with 1 man in the backfield, and they are going to punt it. It's going to be an out-of-formation punt, and it's going to bounce at the 25-yard line, and it's going to roll in Blackman's favor about 5 yards. This is going to get down to the 20-yard line. Nice punt on the play by the Blackman special teams unit. And that's where Riverdale will take over. So for the Blaze, not what you want there. However, it wasn't a turnover, so they call it progress.
Definitely. And I misspoke earlier. Blackman's defense has done a good job of holding Riverdale's offense in check.
When Riverdale has scored most of their points, the offense for the Blaze has been on the field.
Yes. 20 of their 23 points have come off of turnovers.
With the fumble and the 2 interceptions returned for touchdowns, most of the points have been scored by the Riverdale defense. The Blaze defense has held the Riverdale offense to only 3 points while they've been on the field. But again, the Warriors haven't had to be on the field as much just because of the defensive pressure that they've caused early here in the first half. So 1st and 10 for the Warriors offense, as he lines up with his running back here on his left hip. He's going to be in the shotgun for the first play. They send a man in motion. That's number 4 on the bottom of your screen. They're going to give it. They're going to give it to him up the middle, and it's going to be a short gain, if any. It's going to be a gain of 1. So from where they're marking it, it looks like it's going to be no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. Clock rolling.
Hand it off to Lloyd again. Again, Blackman's defense is starting to limit Lloyd's gains to 1 to 2 yards.
2nd down and 10 on the play as the Blaze wait to see how the Warriors are going to line up offensively, and it's going to be that same formation again with Floyd back in the backfield off the quarterback's right hip. And they're going to fake the handoff, and he's going to air it out to the right side, and that's going to be a dropped pass at about the 40-yard line. So it's going to set up a 3rd down and 10 for the Warriors. here deep in enemy territory.
Yes, and that was a great defensive play there by Kyer Fuller-Elmore. Fuller-Elmore right there. Make sure to get his hands up, and as soon as the Riverdale player went to go and catch the ball, that's when Elmore put his hands up and got in the way. So now 3rd and 10. Can this Blackman defense keep this offense in the game?
Again, don't be fooled by what the scoreboard reads. The Blaze defense has held strong tonight, only allowing 3 of the 23 points as they pressure the quarterback here on 3rd down, and they're going to air it out, and is that going to be caught? We'll see what they mark it as, and they are going to mark it as a catch right at the 40-yard line. What a throw there by the Warriors quarterback.
Yeah, so right there, it looks like that was the throw was to Kayshawn Williams, if I got that number correct. And right there, Holcomb rolled to his right, and he put it to the sideline to Williams' shoulder to where only Williams could catch it. Great throw there from Holcomb.
Holcomb hasn't had to make a lot of huge throws tonight, but the ones that he has been in those pressure situations on those 3rd downs, when they've given him a chance, he's made those throws.
Yes. He makes the big plays.
1st and 10 here on the 40-yard line. Still, Warriors still on their side of the 50, as it's going to be a slant, and that's going to be thrown. It's going to be deflected at the line of scrimmage.
And that is Kayvon Henderson. Henderson has a touchdown for the Blaze, and and he has a couple of sacks, and he also has that deflection. Right now, he's the best player in the field for Blackman.
Having a defensive presence for sure here in the first half. 5:29 to go here in the second quarter. Riverdale holds the lead, and they hold the football right now as well, as we're just past the midway mark here in the second quarter. They line up Holcomb and Floyd alone in the backfield
That's
back there.
That's going to be a false start.
And there is going to be a false start. And again, we saw a lack of coverage here on the bottom of your screen. There were 2 Riverdale receivers and only 1 Blaze defender dropped back in coverage.
One of those false start and everyone but the center moments. Right there, it looked like Holcomb, he was very upset because he recognized that his receiver right there, Mackie Bonds was wide open. There was single coverage, but the single coverage was on Coleman, and now of course they are aligned correctly, but the only coverage was on Coleman, so that would have been a very easy touchdown.
And they are going to go with the same play here, as they are going to hand it off in the backfield, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down as he gets some room and gets out to the Riverdale sideline. And that's going to be out across the 50. We'll see where they mark it down at, but it is going to be enough for a 1st down.
And he's pointing to a 1st down, but there is a flag on the play, so I think this one is coming back.
And the Blaze defenders are pointing back as if it is coming back. And we'll see here's the call.
Illegal formation.
It's going to be an illegal formation on the Warriors, so that is going to set them back 10 yards here. 5 yards, as they'll set up at the 35 once again. No, it was at the 30-yard line, so there will be 2nd down and long from the 30-yard line. As again, we see costly penalties on both sides, from both teams here early on in the game.
And there's going to be a timeout by Riverdale.
And Riverdale is going to take a timeout here. Didn't like something they saw. And with that, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the conclusion of the first half. More from the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network after this. Stick around.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh!
I'm going to that game.
Back here in the Inferno as the Warriors look to extend their 23-6 lead here. Second down and long after the illegal formation penalty, and he's going to air it out down the sideline, and he's going to overthrow his receiver there. Holcomb overthrows. Is that number? I think it's like number 4 on the play.
That's either Coleman or Lloyd.
Yes, that is number 4.
Yes,
so it's Coleman on the play.
So right there, Coleman actually had his left arm held right there, and that could have very easily been called. And that is what.
And as he's still walking back to the line of scrimmage, he's signaling to a referee, "I need that holding call."
Yeah. So, but he didn't get it. So now here comes a third and very long. Blackman has to get this stop here. A first down here is backbreaking.
If they pick this up here, that is going to put the nail in the coffin here in the first half at least, and they're going to have a lot to do. As it's going to be a handoff across the line, and it's not going to get much of anything on the play there as Blaze defenders chase him down across the field in a hurry to get him for a short gain, if any gain, of about 2 yards.
Right there, Lloyd got some yards on that third down. They just played it safe, got it as much as they could, and now they're going to punt the ball away. And hopefully, if you're Riverdale, pin them inside the 20.
We've seen this Blackman defense show up when they need to. They've been opportunistic. It's just getting their guys the ball back, and ball security is the big thing right now for the Blaze offense. As here's the punt, and it's going to be a great kick. And as you said, Zach, it looks like they'll be back around the 20-yard line when they get it, and it's going to get them out to the 30-yard after the return. And when it's all said and done, they're going to set up shop at about the 29-yard line based on the spot.
Now, if you're Blackman, you need to score before half because Riverdale gets the ball to start the second half. That's why that stop was so crucial. If Riverdale went down and scored and took a lot of time off the clock, then Blackman would have very minimal time to get the ball, and then Riverdale's getting the ball to start the second half. That could have been a potential 14-point swing.
Reisner lines up in the backfield on his own.
That's going to be a false start.
And that is going to be a false start. Number 1 on the bottom of your screen there. That was Jalen Pleasant. He's going to jump on the play, and it looked like either one of the receivers up on the top of the screen as well, as you see that's where the flag was thrown on the top of your screen, the far side of the field for us here in the broadcast booth. So that's going to set the Blaze back about 5 yards. And Zach, if you're Blackman here, you're not trying to get down the field and score in a hurry and try and make this, and you're trying to level this game here before halftime. You're trying to get one score and get back into this game and have momentum going into the half.
Yeah, but if they score here, then it is what it is. Like, if you're Blackman, you need to score quick.
That's going to be intercepted as he tries to set up the screen, and it's going to be intercepted and taken down to the 10-yard line of the Blaze, where the Warriors are going to set up deep, and I mean deep in enemy territory. First and goal for the Warriors.
Right there, Isaiah Knox with the interception, but all the credit there goes to Herring. Herring had his hands in Reisner's face. Herring jumped up and almost got a hand on the ball, and just wow. Knox was able to come down with it and just almost take it in. That was almost 3 pick sixes in the first half.
We saw the Blaze come out, and they were trying to slow it down. They weren't running with much tempo, but then second play of the drive there, they throw the interception. And again, costly turnovers, keeping this a 2-possession game.
Mm-hmm. 3-possession.
3-possession game, yes, excuse me.
And the last timeout looks like it's going to be Riverdale's last timeout.
Riverdale is going to use their last time out there, as they did not like something they saw either on the defensive side or from their offensive unit. And with that stoppage on the field, we are going to kick it to break. With 4:09 to go here in the second quarter, the Warriors set up first and goal, and when we come back, we'll see what they do here on the NFHS Network. This is the MTN Sports Game of the Week. We'll be right back after this.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
Welcome back. First and goal here for the Riverdale Warriors as they line up. And he's going to fake the handoff, and he's going to send it to the back corner of the end zone where he's got a man. But that's going to be a big break. Yes, as you said, a huge defensive collision there for the Blaze defender, and it looks like the Warriors receiver is slow to get up on the play. But, wow, what a play, because it looked like Riverdale had Blackman beat on that play, but then the defender was able to catch up to the Warriors receiver who was walking on his own in the back of the end zone.
And Holcomb, he threw it off his back foot, couldn't get enough power on it to really zip it in there. But good job by Meek. He turned around, threw his hands up, and was able to get his hand on the ball and knock it away. So second and a long 10. So
second and a long goal to go, yes. Indeed. So we'll see if they go back to air it out here or if they'll put it on the ground, which has proved very effective for the Warriors early on in this game. 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Second down and a 10 to go. And there's another stoppage on the field.
Timeout Blackman.
Timeout Blackman. They did not like something that they saw there on the defensive side. Coach Tygard uses his timeout. That's his second timeout of the first half. And we're going to keep you here as this is only going to be about a 30-second break. And so, Zach, what do you think they do here? Did they go back to the ground, or are they going to air it out again, back-to-back plays here?
They're gonna go to the ground. Right now, Lloyd's done a good job of getting 5-6 yards of carry. So if you're the past few carries, of course, Blackman's done a good job of stuffing him at the line of scrimmage. But if you're Riverdale, you just keep getting the ball to Lloyd. Lloyd has done a great job. He is been the playmaker of the night so far. On the offensive side, I mean, playmaker of the night goes to Alexander Mitchell, as Mitchell's got those two pick sixes, but Lloyd's
and just remember, Zach, it's still only the first half. Two pick sixes in the first half alone.
There was almost 3 pick sixes in the first half. That one would have went to Mitchell, though. That one would have went to Isaiah Knotts.
And as we give Lloyd all that credit, of course, we also need to talk about the offensive line for the Warriors, who have set that front, and the Blackman defense has not known what to do with Lloyd and this front of the Riverdale Warriors. As there we see Lloyd go for a short gain on the play, getting it down to about the 7-yard line after he's stacked up. And it's going to be a third down and a long 7 to go as the Warriors look to extend this to a 4-possession game.
I think you run it. I think you run it again. I think you run it with Lloyd one more time.
The clock is not a factor here. You've still got plenty of time. If anything, you're just trying to keep the ball and score. And in a perfect world for the Warriors, they score here with the clock winding down to zeros.
About 2 minutes.
Right. Or 2 minutes exactly. As Blackman struggles to get lined up here defensively, as they got guys moving around to the last second, they're going to fake the pitch, and it's going to be a touchdown for the Warriors. As they fake the pitch, and Holcomb rolls out to the right side, and he's got his man in the front of the end zone for 6. That's going to be 20. That's going to make the score 29-6 in the Warriors' favor here with 2:55 to go.
And that was Elijah Herring. They did a good job of Holcomb right there. Kept his eyes to the right of Herring as they had 2 guys in the same area, and he made the defender choose. Is he going to go to the guy going towards the back pylon, or is he going to stay with Herring? And the guy chose the guy with the back pylon, and
with that, it's going to be a line drive kick, and it's going to be no good as it's going to go left of the upright. Zach, it's football 101. When you establish a solid run game, that opens up the play action in so many different ways. And there we saw the fake pitch lead to a wide open tight end in the front of the end zone.
Again, right there, like we were talking about earlier in the game, Riverdale top to bottom is one of the best teams in the state. They're ranked number 3 from the Tennessean for a reason. Blackman is ranked got 11 votes. Got 11 votes to be in the top 10. For reference, the number 10 team had 17. So they were on the cusp of potentially getting into the top 10. So here we go. Riverdale right now, they have done a good job of controlling the first half. I know we've said this multiple times, and we're going to keep saying it. Blackman needs to score. They have to score here before half because Riverdale gets the ball to start the second half.
The Blaze need to calm down on the offensive side. They're letting the pressure get to them, and that's causing turnovers and in a hurry. We've seen 3 turnovers and a fumble all go for scores here. And if you take those turnovers out of this is a very close football game.
Blackman's defense has really done a good job of keeping Blackman in the game, but the offense has had too many turnovers to really.
That defense has been on the field way too much, and it's catching up to them. They need this break at halftime coming up, and they need the offense to stay on the field here late in the first half. As the special teams unit, that was number 12 on the play, Justin Brown. He's going to take that out just across the 30-yard line. Based on the spot, it's going to be right at the maybe just short of the 30-yard line. We'll see where they mark it down at. Either way, 1st and 10 for the Blaze.
Yes.
Yes, just inside the 30-yard line at the 28-yard line.
Blackman
or
right
29-yard line, excuse me.
They really need to get some positive momentum going their way.
If anything, they need to complete a pass and have a play go to success and get a first down here. And they're going to hand it off, and it's going to go to the left side and get stacked up in a hurry. No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 as we just hit the 3-minute mark here in the second quarter.
Yeah, so if you're Blackman, I mean, you've got to start getting some momentum. You've got to start going in the right direction. Again, this Riverdale defense is stacked. They gave up 37 yards last week, and they're showing their dumbness again today.
He's going to fake the handoff and roll out to his right side, and he's going to throw a bullet, and it's going to be incomplete on the near sideline. He tried to get his man. That was, again, Justin Brown, number 12 on the play, as he slid in about the 38-yard line trying to get the catch there. But that's going to be an incomplete pass and set up a 3rd and 10 to go here, still at just inside the 30-yard line for the Blaze.
Big 3rd down here.
Big 3rd down for the Blaze. Reisner's going to line up with one man on his right hip, and he's going to send it across the field and again throws into some traffic as there were about 4 Riverdale defenders on the bottom of your screen heading towards Ben Marshall as he was the intended target on the play.
That was Caleb Herring there. The Herrings are 2 phenomenal athletes. The 2 brothers, Caleb and Elijah, have done a great job tonight. They have really been all over the field, and it looks like Blackman's going for it.
4th and 10 here as Reisner tries to draw the Warrior defenders off sides. He's going to step back in the pocket, and he is going to send another punt just across the 40-yard line, and that's going to take a great bounce for the Blaze and be marked down right at the 30-yard line. 2:19 to go here, and that's where the Warriors are going to take over as we are going to head to a break now. And when we come back, we'll have the conclusion of the first half here on the MTN Sports Game of the Week on the NFHS Network. Riverdale leads 29-6.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight! 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh!
I'm going to that game.
And welcome back here to the MTN Sports Game of the Week.
Delay of game.
Right off the bat, we have a delay of game call on the defense here. So I don't know if they didn't get set soon enough or if they still had guys coming on and off the field.
So what happened was...
Oh, excuse me. It was on the offense. It was on Riverdale.
So what happened there was the officials blew their whistle for Riverdale to come onto the field, to get back onto the field. And Riverdale, they stayed in the huddle for a little bit too long, and the play clock started. And by the time they got to the line of scrimmage, there was 5 seconds to go on the play clock.
I think for a second there I was thinking the Blaze were still on offense, and I was like, why was there a delay of game call on the defense? But no, it makes so much more sense now, knowing it was by Riverdale, as Holcomb hands it off to the left, to his left-hand side to Lloyd, and he's going to get a short gain on the play. Call it a gain of about 2 up to the 28-yard line. And after the penalty, that's going to set up about a second down and 13 on the play.
So right now, if you're Blackman, you just have to try and limit Riverdale and let them run the ball into half. Just let them take the ball to half, and then just try and come out with your adjustments in the second half and try and make some big plays.
Doesn't seem like Riverdale is moving with too much speed here, as it is going to be thrown by Holcomb down the near sideline all the way down to about the 45-yard line, where it'll be broken up by 2 Blaze defenders. Incomplete on the play, as he was looking for number 4. And that's going to be
Seed Coleman,
the sophomore wide receiver, the intended target on the play.
And that was Dyson Bell on the coverage. So now, with 1:32 to go, we have a third down here. So
and the Blaze still have a timeout left.
Yeah, so look for the Blaze to potentially call a timeout after this third down if they get to stop, and see if the Blaze can get any momentum, maybe a field goal or something to go to half.
So there's the handoff to Lloyd, and he's got room to run, as he's going to pick up the first down and carry 5 Blaze defenders with him across the 45-yard line. And wow, that guy just does not want to go down.
Again, he's a big physical back, and that's what big physical backs do. He's hard to bring down open space, and you have to go for
any space,
yes.
really. He took the whole defensive secondary of the Blaze with him 5 yards once again.
Yes, again, like you said, once again, that's his fourth time he's done that tonight. He is their playmaker. He is the Riverdale's playmaker, and they're doing a great job tonight of just getting him the ball, getting him the spot, giving the ball in areas and places to succeed, and he's making the right plays and going through the right holes.
Dynamic defense of the the dynamic offense of the Riverdale Warriors coming into play here, as we've seen Holcomb and Lloyd be a dual threat weapon in that backfield. And there's going to be a flag on the play, as the handoff is going to go to Lloyd again. It's going to be a gain of 10 at the end of the play.
That is going to
be coming back.
So it's a hold on Alexander Mitchell. He got a hold of the jersey, and there was a little tug as soon as Lloyd got around Mitchell, and that's going to get called every time. That's going to be a 10-yard penalty again from the spot. First down. It's only first down. With a minute 16 left.
All of a sudden, if you're Riverdale and that play stands and you pick up that first down, you're in Blaze territory, and you're almost looking to score again here late in the quarter.
Exactly. You could have had a 14-point swing, actually around a 20-point swing, because you scored right before this drive.
That was a huge play in favor of the Blaze defense.
Yes.
Here late in the half, as it's going to be a first down and long after the penalty, and it's going to be caught at about the 43-yard line. We'll call it the 44-yard line.
And the clock's going to get running. It's going to keep running.
And that's going to bring us close to the 1-minute mark. And by the time they get this play off, it'll probably be around 45 seconds. And we'll see if the Warriors move with any tempo here. As Holcomb gets the play call.
Maybe look for another handoff and see if
and
Lloyd
again,
can
with the penalty that sets him back. Yeah, what were you saying, Zach? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Maybe give the ball off to Lloyd and see if he can make any space and get.
And that's exactly what they're going to do, as they're going to hand it to Lloyd, but he is going to be stacked up in the backfield, or so I believe. Yes, he did go down that time.
Yes.
Right on the line at about the 41-yard line. We'll call it a loss of 1 on the play, and that's going to set up about a 3rd and 13. So a 3rd and long here, again, forced by the Blaze defense. And with that, we've got a stoppage on the field. So one more time. Oh,
There's still, yes, clock is still
The clock
running.
is still rolling. So, yeah, with that, that'll take us down to halftime. And with that, we're going to take it to a break. When we come back, we'll have halftime coverage here. We're going to recap the first half for you and preview the second half. And we might even hear from our sideline reporter, Abigail Martin. You got to stick here to find out. We'll be right back with the MTN Sports Game of the Week coverage here on the NFHS Network after this.
I'm Lisa Justice. I'm principal of Blackman High School. Welcome to the football season. We're excited to have you here. I'd like to share with you the 4 pillars of our culture here at Blackman High School. And those 4 pillars are purpose, history, connection, and growth. With purpose, all of our students have a purpose, whether it's in athletics, academics, or the arts. But it's important to ask, what is my purpose? For history, we know that the students who are here now are our next chapter in history. And so we ask them to ask themselves, how can I be a part of the next chapter? For connection, we know that connection makes better students, it makes a happier environment. And we ask our students to say, what is my connection to others here at Blackman High School? And finally, growth. We have a growth mindset here. And we like our students to ask every day, and our teachers, how can I be better today? And better yet, how can I help others be better? Thank you for tuning in to Blackman High School. We appreciate you being here, and go Blaze.
Okay, Chandler Tygard, the head football coach at the Blackman Blaze. I'm new to Blackman, got hired in January, so I'm from Nashville, Tennessee originally. We're moving back into town from Stevenson, Alabama, where I was the head coach at North Jackson High School. We're calling ourselves the Baby Blaze. We've got 100 football players, but we only return 6 starters, 3 on each side of the ball. 14 new coaches, kind of like our year 0, not necessarily a year 1. We're building the foundation for what we're going to do, and kids have done some awesome work. We're resetting everything. And we're going to see what happens from there. So I coached at the University of Tennessee for 7 years, so I guess the Vols are my team. I cheer for a lot of my friends, so I work for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. I work for Ed Orgeron at LSU. But pretty much once you work with guys, you kind of cheer for your friends as opposed to pulling for the home team. Other than the Titans, I grew up a Titans fan, so we just took our team to Titans practice a couple weeks ago, and that was really neat for our boys too. So I'm married to my wife Lauren, and I've got 2 little boys. Barrett is 1.5 years. Camp is 5.5. In the spare time, man, don't do much. I like to play golf, but ever since I've had 2 little boys, you don't get to play a lot of golf anymore. So it's about football all the time, and then hanging out with my kids and family. They're always here. They're going to be in the end zone and game day. Camp likes to fill up water bottles, so hanging out with them as part of football is really neat. Yeah, I hope everybody comes out to see the new Blazing Fast team. So we're a hurry-up offense. We like to run 90 plays a game as fast as we can go. We like to onside kick. We run lots of trick plays. We're fun to watch. It's going to be an awesome, exciting season with all this new stuff coming on. So everybody needs to come out and watch the Blaze this year. Go Blaze.
welcome back here to the MTN Sports Game of the Week on the NFHS Network. We've got the Blackman Blaze Band out on the field right now after the performance from the Riverdale Warriors Band. Zach, real quick, just a couple of questions before we get into the second half action here. I'm going to ask you just one thing for each team. What does the Blaze need to do here? Down 29-6 at halftime. What do they got to do here to set a tone early in the second half and attempt to make a comeback here?
Well, they need to start forcing turnovers because on the offensive side of the ball, they've already given the ball away 4 times, 2 pick sixes. One of them went inside the 5-yard line and eventually led to a touchdown. The other one was Herring stole the ball away from Marshall at about the 45-yard line. So that accounted for about at least 20 to 24 Riverdale points. So that is the big thing right now if you're Blackman. You've got to stop turning over the ball, and on offense, you've got to move it. This Riverdale defense is stingy, but at this point, you just have to air it out and hope for the best.
And same question just for Riverdale. Their offense hasn't had to be on the field that much. Their defense has done a great job of taking care of business, as we knew they were going to do coming in tonight on the season now at halftime of this game in Week 3. After playing 10 quarters of football, they've only allowed 6 points total. So what does Riverdale have to do to keep the pedal down to the floor here in the second half?
So really what they need to do is they need to come out in the second half and they just need to control the ball. If you want to limit the possessions, especially when you have a running back like Lloyd in the back, who has really done a good job getting an open field, and he's been the playmaker tonight for for Riverdale. Blackman hasn't been able to bring him down second at points 5 to 6 defenders just to bring him down. So if you're Riverdale, you just keep going there, and then your defense, you just keep doing what you've been doing on defense. You've got Blackman very uncomfortable. Blackman doesn't know. He's not doing a good job of reading the coverage right now. Again, on the screen passes, they are expecting Riverdale to go ahead and crash. They're expecting them to, on Mitchell's pick 6, he didn't read Mitchell coming and making a play on that ball and kind of lofted it over there a little bit, and that was an easy pick 6. And the other pick 6 was just, Brycer got hit as he threw, and there's really nothing you can do about that one. But if you're Riverdale, just keep doing what you're doing. There's no reason to change anything.
So now we know what Riverdale's got to do. We know what the Blaze have to do, and we're set for second half action as the Blaze High School Band, or the Blackman Blaze High School Band, continues their performance here. We'll be back with second half coverage here in just a few minutes right here on the NFHS Network. It's the game of the week, the Backyard Brawl. Blackman, Riverdale, more after this.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
So many men and women that have served that expected to be able to have their tuition or certain assistance being given to them, and that money evaporated. With the establishment of the general fund is to make sure that all those men and women can get through MTSU and pursue what they thought they could do when they came on back.
We're extremely proud that the Predators have identified the need to help make this fund one of the best at our university for our veterans.
And we're back here on the NFHS Network with the MTN Sports Game of the Week as the Blaze kick it off to the Warriors. And here come the Warriors. They're going to field it at about the 15-yard line and bring it out to the 30, which is where the Warriors will set up shop here for the first possession of the second half. And looks like there's a late flag on the play. It's going to be a hold.
Defense.
Oh, personal foul on the kicking team, on the Blaze. So that's going to move up the Warriors a little bit. They're going to set up shop at what'll be
the 46.
46-yard line. So there's going to be a 15-yard penalty, and they'll set up shop at about the 46-yard line.
You are about to see right here what the Baby Blaze are made of. It's going to be very easy for them to quit because they're down 23 against a very good Riverdale team.
And
but
this is the most we've seen them down all year long.
Well, this is the most they've been down all season long. And again, 23 points is going to be easy to quit because this is a very good Riverdale team. But do they have the mentality of, hey, this game's not over, we're going to keep fighting till the end?
And again, don't be fooled by the scoreboard. Blackman's defense is not the reason
they pass interference.
They are out of this game right now, as that is going to be a pass interference called. There was a lot of contact as the receiver. That was number 3 for the Warriors. That's Mackie Bonds, the 6-foot wide receiver, the senior.
And Brendan Odom there, he just didn't give Bonds a chance to come back to the ball.
Had too much contact before the ball got to Bonds there.
Bonds has to have the ability to come back and make a play on the ball, and Odom right there wasn't able to because Odom didn't give him space to.
So that's going to be a 15-yard penalty, and that's going to move it to they're going to move the chains to just inside the 40-yard line on the Blaze side of the ball. So we'll call it at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10, 11:47 to go here in the third quarter of action. This Blaze crowd, despite the score, hasn't gone anywhere. They're still here cheering on their guys. As that's going to be a completed slant pass to the outside on the near sideline, again to number 4. That time he gets Seed Coleman, the senior wide receiver, out wide on the quick slant for a quick gain of about 4 or 5 yards, set up a second down and 5 to go.
That was a good job there of the Blackman defender tackling Coleman as soon as he received the ball, but right now Riverdale's moving the ball very quick. And I mean,
2 plays and they're already inside the 35-yard line.
40 seconds into this, into the second half, they're already potentially in field goal range.
And they're going to hand it off to guess who? It's Floyd, and he's going to go right up the middle, get about 4 on the play, and it's going to set up a 3rd and short. We'll call it a 3rd and 3 on the play. And for the first time in the second half, we're going to see how the Blackman defense stacks up against the Warriors here on 3rd down.
And here we go. They gave the ball to Lloyd, and Blackman's defense, they were prepared for it. The interior defensive lineman did not let him get to that second level. Now,
you said this is where we're going to see what they're made of.
Yes, so right now, look for Lloyd to go out to the flat or maybe a little bit of a wheel route. That's what they did earlier for the touchdown, was give Lloyd a little wheel route, and he went uncovered. So maybe, Coleman wants them to get set because there's only 5 seconds to go in the play.
Holcomb's going to fake the handoff, and he's going to be pressured in the pocket, but he's got his man anyway. Believe that's number 3 on the play? Yes. So he goes back to his senior wide receiver, Mackie Bonds, on the play, who's got the catch on another back foot throw there by Holcomb.
Right there, Holcomb did a good job of waiting to the last second. He knew he was going to get hit, and he still delivered it perfectly into Mackie Bonds. And they moved the chains there. And right now, that was almost great defense there. You send the pressure, and they almost got there. Blackman's defense almost got there up the middle, but Holcomb waited, saw Bonds break open at the very last second, and then he got the first down.
And with that, we're going to take it to Abigail Martin, who is in front of our broadcast booth.
I spoke with a coach of Riverdale at halftime, and he said his defense has created turnovers, and that has been key for this team so far. He's not happy with the amount of penalties and told them that they've had over 100 yards in penalties, so they have to keep the composure. He's relying on senior leadership to step up and continue the execution. He knows it's a rivalry game, and those penalties are bound to happen, but it's something that they can't let slip away or ever. This game, it can turn into a comeback for the Blaze. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Abigail. And as we saw in that last play there, the Blackman defense had a huge deflection that could have turned into a turnover and been a huge momentum swing early on in the second half here.
It was almost
but again,
a
missed opportunity.
Yeah, that one right there, that was just a very unfortunate deflection location.
As Holcomb hands it off to Lloyd one more time, and it's going to be stacked up for a loss of 2 yards on the play. It's going to be back to the 20-yard line.
As that was a big collision in the middle there by the Blackman defense. And now, here it is, 3rd and 12. Can they force a field goal?
I talked about that big collision there. That was Mason Russell at the bottom of the pile bringing down Lloyd. And we're starting to see this defensive front stack up and know how to stack up against Lloyd coming out of that backfield in a full head-on sprint.
Yes, and the big problem right now for the Blackman defense, as it looks like Bonds was open for a second, has been getting off the field on 3rd downs. Can they get off the field here?
Holcomb takes the snap, and he's looking to his right side, and he's got a guy, but it's going to bounce off of him. It looked like it bounced off of his shoulder pad, maybe even his chest plate, and it's going to fall to the ground for an incomplete pass, and that's going to set up a 4th down as the field goal unit takes the field.
And here we go. This is going to be a big field goal because this would make it a 4-possession game.
And remember, we saw 2 missed extra points in the first half by the Riverdale kicker. So they're going to line it up on the left hash of what appears to be the 26-yard line.
This is Khalil Armon.
There's the snap, hold, it's up.
Right down the middle.
And it is right down.
No, he missed it.
Oh, no. So it's going to go to the right of the uprights as there. And that'll be how the Riverdale's first drive here of the second half kicks off. So that's a win for Blackman. You got your defense off the field. Not too many plays. That was about a 7-play drive. Not too many plays. And they got their guys off the field. No points scored. Still 29-6.
But again, if you're Riverdale, you took 3 minutes and 12 seconds left, 12 seconds off the clock. That drive didn't end in points, but you did what you needed to do. You took time off the clock, and now, is there already a timeout?
Doesn't appear there's a timeout. Just
there
stop a play. It looks like an ineligible defender on the field.
Equipment issue on Keandre
Equipment
Terry.
issue. Okay. As they're going to bring in the substitute on the defensive line, and it looks like they're going to flip the entire Warrior defense altogether as they're going to send pressure here on the handoff for the Blaze. That's going to be stacked up early and in a hurry, as it's only going to be a gain of about 2 to set up a 2nd down and 8 with 8:43 to go here in the 3rd quarter of action.
And now here comes Peyton Thomas. Peyton Thomas, again, brings electricity to this offense. What can he bring this time?
He moves around with speed as he's going to send a screen out to the right-hand side, and it's not going to go for much. It's going to get him out to about the 25-yard line. We'll call it a gain of about 2 on the play. It's going to set up a 3rd down.
It's a little bit of pushing and shoving going on the Blackman sideline right there. But now, this is a big 3rd down here for Blackman. They need this. They have to have this 3rd down here.
3rd down and 4 to go for the Blaze as Peyton Thomas fakes. He's going to fake the pitch out to the left-hand side to his man in motion, and he's going to take it right up the middle where he's going to be stuffed almost immediately for little to no gain on the play, and that's going to be a 4th down.
That was Elijah Herring and Isaiah Knox right there. They came straight through straight through the B gaps on each side of the offensive line, and they came unblocked. Right there, Thomas did not have time to do anything.
And they're going to drop back on 4th down, and it's going to be intercepted at the 35-yard line as that ball was 10 yards underthrown. And the Warriors are going to bring that back inside the 5-yard line.
As right there, it looks like as that was intercepted by Mackie Bonds. Bonds right now is having himself a great second half.
Mackie Bonds we're seeing play both sides of the football tonight.
Yes, he is the wide receiver / free safety. Right there, he came in and was in man coverage. So Peyton Thomas right there did not realize the snap. So excuse me, not Thomas, Brown. So Thomas stepped back, waited, and threw it up, and Brown had just then started his route.
And again, we see that Blaze defense out there, and they just look deflated, very much so, as they're pinned deep to start this next drive.
4th interception tonight from Thomas. Excuse me, Reisner.
Between Reisner and Thomas, yes. 4 interceptions total. 2 of those, don't forget, were taken back for pick sixes, taken back for 6 points apiece. as here comes Lloyd right up the middle. And the Blaze defense, they're holding up strong. Oh, and there's going to be some late contact on the play.
The ball came free a little late, and it looked like
Blaze defenders weren't aware that the play was dead.
And
Maybe didn't hear the whistle.
And Holcomb picked it up, and Henderson tried to knock the ball out again, like big hit on Holcomb, but good job by the officials letting them play. There wasn't any intent behind that. It was just balls loose, instinct play, and then.
And Holcomb got up and had a little something to say, but like you said, it didn't look like there was intention behind that. And number 11 of the Blaze, that was Kayvon Henderson. He stood up for his guy on that play there. So it's going to set up a second down and long, and that's going to be thrown, and it's going to be a quick slant and incomplete as it's dropped just on the foot of the M in the Blackman end zone.
That was very good defense right there from Dyson Bell. Bell did a good job of getting his hand at the very last second and knocking it away. And here it is. Can Blackman stop him again? Can Blackman stop the Riverdale offense?
It's going to be a third down. We're at 6:40, the 6:40 marker here in the third quarter. Score still the same as it was when we came in at halftime, or we came in from halftime. 29-6 here. Third down and goal for the Warriors.
Look for
Blaze send pressure here. Yep, they send it from the left side, and it's going to be over the Blaze defender for another Warrior score. Touchdown Riverdale.
And right there that looks like that was thrown to number 19, Ryan Edmondson. He is 6'2" and used every bit of it there to come down with that touchdown catch. Great throw there by Holcomb. And Holcomb has really, after starting off slow, done a good job of finding his receivers.
Well, you say starting out slow. I mean, he really didn't have to do too much. When they needed him, he came through. But, I mean, when you have 2 pick sixes on the play, that's going to take time away from your offense being on the field, of course, as the extra point is up, and it's going to fall short of the goalpost, not even make it there.
That was a bad snap.
Good. That was a bad snap. But we've seen issues from this kicking team all night long for Riverdale, and that seems to be the only thing that's falling flat for them this evening. And with that, the updated score after the missed extra point is 35-6 in favor of Riverdale as they hold a substantial lead against the Blaze here in the Inferno. We'll be right back after this with more third quarter coverage on the MTN Sports Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. Stick with us.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight!
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh!
I'm going to that game.
Welcome back to the Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. It's the backyard brawl. It's Riverdale. Blackman. We've got kind of a lopsided affair here, but the Blaze are getting the ball back. We'll see if they can draw a little bit closer here. As here's the kick from the 40. And it's going to be fielded at just about the 5-yard line, and he's going to bring it out past the 25, out to the 30, slips a block, and he's going to go out of bounds right at about the 31-yard line where they'll mark it down. And we'll see what quarterback we have brought out here, if it's going to be Reisner or if it's going to be Peyton Thomas again.
It looks like it's going to be Reisner and Thomas. They're both coming out there.
So we'll see more of that dual quarterback look that was on the first half.
When Blackman has been moving the ball, they've had Reisner and Thomas in the backfield at the same time like they have right now, because you don't really know who's getting the ball.
We'll see what they go with here, and they've got both of them acting like they're going to receive the snap, and it's going to go to Thomas. That was confusing, and it's going to be dropped by Marshall on the left-hand side after a quick out route there. It's going to fall incomplete. Second down and 10 here after the dropped incomplete pass. Zach, so 35-6 game. If you're on the Blackman coaching staff here, what are you looking to see out of your guys with such a large point differential going into the later part of this game?
Right now, well, that was actually a good run by Pleasant. He was able to spin move off the first one. But if I'm Blackman's coaches right now, what I am doing is I am saying, hey, guys, look, scoreboard, it doesn't matter anymore. Guys, we're playing a really good Riverdale team, and we are a really good team in ourselves. The score doesn't replicate how good our defense has played. We've played a really good, solid defensive game, but our offense, guys, just start getting something together. Just show fight. Don't give up. That's not what they're young, a young team. Oh.
As he's going to shed a block there, and he's going to get a little shifty with it, and he's going to shed another block and be across the 50-yard line. It's little plays like that that are keeping this Blackman crowd into this game. How important is it for the Blaze crowd to stay into this game as they're watching their guys here in the second half?
Pleasant very easily could have taken that first hit and then gone down, but no, he's still fighting. That is why Pleasant keeps getting the ball. Yeah,
by Jalen Pleasant on that play.
Pleasant has made mistakes this game, but he hasn't given up yet, as you saw right there.
As they send him in motion, and Keisner's going to look across the field, and that's going to be batted down again by a heavily covered Blaze receiver on the play. And it looks like that was number 3 for the Blaze.
Dowdy. So, yes. So, right there, what Reisner tried to do was try to thread the needle. But, again, once Riverdale's defense, they drop back into coverage, right now, this zone defense, there's no holes. They're doing a good job of, as Thomas is about to throw this one.
Thomas is going to send an airmail out, and it didn't look like the receiver was ready for that one, as that one just looked slightly overthrown.
Yes, it was overthrown to Demika Dowdy, but right there, just keep doing it. Coach, remember when Coach said a few weeks ago, he said, we have 8 plays, and we're going to run them 2, and we're going to run them, keep running and run them. And that's what they're doing. They keep running the same plays. As you see Dowdy run off the field right here. This is a 3rd down. You just don't, if you're Blackman right now, you want to see your players fight.
You want to see your players fight, and you want to see them execute some of their plays that they know have proved effective, especially against a Brentwood team in week 1. They want to see some of those plays prove effective here tonight. Even if it's not leading to scores, they want to get something good on film for later reference.
Well, definitely. And also, this game, just because you lose this game does not mean you're not making the playoffs. Riverdale is a big and great opponent. Like I've said multiple times, they are the number 3 ranked team by the Tennessean, and they may climb a little after this game. Blackman, you don't have. Yes, you lost, but you have to get ready for your next week's game.
And it's still early here in the second half. We can't quite count Blackman out of it yet. Anything could happen. But as you keep looking ahead, we talked about this pregame. Black for the Blaze, the baby Blaze, year 0 for Coach Tygard, the first-year head coach here at Blackman. How important is it going to be for his guys to rebound after a loss like this, as their schedule definitely does get a little bit lighter? They got to understand, in the first 3 weeks, they had a fight with Brentwood. They had a week 2 game get canceled. They're coming in after 2 polar opposite kind of weeks coming into the backyard brawl here, and now their schedule kind of lightens up a little bit. So we'll see how this team responds. How important is it for them to respond?
This is the toughest part of their schedule. Playing Brentwood and Riverdale in your first 3 weeks, that is a very, very tough schedule.
For them to walk out with a victory in one of those games,
yes,
that's what they need to focus on.
And now, they're 2-1.
Still a winning record, if you ask me.
Well, because it is a winning record.
Exactly.
Anyways, just saw Sid Coleman on the carry right there. If you're Blackman, you have you can't just look at this game and say, hey, we're not good enough. No, you keep playing. There's plenty of time left in the season. You have time to develop. You have time to mature into the team that you want to be. You're not going to be your best form of yourself right now. You're just not. You're young. You're developing. But what you just did, look what you did to the stand side. You filled it up. You had excitement. You had the Inferno rocking to start off this game.
And if that's what that's like for year 0, baby Blaze, I'd hate to be on that opposite sideline come year 3, year 4 when this team is at full strength and their 47 freshmen are 47 seniors strong.
Yes. Now what Riverdale has done, and they have came in and they've taken care of business. They have said, you know what, we're going to run it right up your throat. And Holcomb said, I'm going to make the passes when necessary. And, Riverdale has just really done what their game plan was. Defensive-wise, right now, your Riverdale offense, great offense, but you've gotten 14 points from pick sixes, and you've gotten around 21 to 27 points off turnovers. Your defense has came up, and they have really dominated this game.
You take the points out of this game, out of the Riverdale total that have come as a direct result of Blackman's mistakes, Blackman's turnovers. It's a 7-6 ball game.
Well, yes. I would say, though, as I will finish the thought on the other side of a break.
All right, with that, we're going to take a quick break here. 35-6 here as we're wrapping up action here in the third quarter. We'll be right back on the NFHS Network after the break.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU.
Welcome back. We're about to wrap things up here in the third quarter. 3.5 minutes to go here in the Inferno. 35-6 with Riverdale holding the edge. Third down and medium to go as the Blaze defense is going to stuff Lloyd there for a short gain. We'll call it a gain of 2, setting up a 4th down and 3.
Yes, but what I was going to say before the break, the pressure from this Riverdale front seven, from Herring, from the other interior defensive lineman and the other outside linebacker I couldn't find it. Isaiah Knox, they've done a good job of getting in the quarterback's face and forcing those turnovers. So this Riverdale defense has done a good job of forcing the turnovers.
And now here we see Riverdale's offense going for it on a 4th down here with a 35-6 lead with 2.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Holcomb's going to send a couple guys in motion as he's going to tighten up his set. He's going to change the play at the line. And we've got a whistle. It looks like Tygard is going to call. Nope, no timeout on that play. He's got a late flag.
It's going to be that's the delay of game. They did run out of time.
They did run out of time, and now it looks like they're bringing the punting unit out as they were trying to see if they could draw him off sides to move the chains on that one.
Well, it did look like they were going to snap it, and that was just going to be Holcomb quick kicking that, just getting that win, getting what they can, and then because the first 20 seconds of that, they were trying to draw them off sides, but it was to no prevail. So
now we'll see the punting unit for Riverdale take the field. 2.5 minutes to go here in the third quarter of action. As there's the snap, and it's a great snap, and almost blocked again by the Blackman punt recovery team. And that one's going to roll into the end zone, where the Blackman Blaze will take possession here once again at the 20-yard line.
That was a good job of Marshall recognizing the way the ball was bouncing and letting that one roll into the end zone. But now, again, just get some momentum for your offense. This Riverdale defense is elite. This is an elite defense. This is probably the best, if not one of the best, that you're going to see this whole year.
You think we see Coach Tygard start putting in some of his freshmen over there who haven't experienced a lot of play time early on in the season, start phasing in some of those guys to get some reps in a late game situation?
I mean, you definitely could. It just depends on when.
Just depends on when,
yes.
And of course,
again,
depends on who as well.
Very young Blackman team. Very young Blackman team.
Absolutely, a very young football team. Year 0, baby plays. As here we go, first down. It's going to be a handoff to the right-hand side, and he's got some room. He's going to clear the 30-yard line where he's going to be popped on the near sideline for a gain of 11 on the play. That was Jalen Pleasant again. Yes, great run there from Jalen Pleasant. As they're moving with a little bit of tempo now.
So Pleasant right now has been one of the playmakers on the opposite side for Blackman. He's done a good job of getting to the secondary.
As we see that dual quarterback look in the backfield, as he's going to take off with it, he's got a little bit of room. He's out across the 35, and there's going to be a late hit called on that play as we see Reisner give himself up, and he's a little slow to get up. He's favoring that face mask a little bit. Looks like it might have been a helmet-to-helmet.
Yeah, that was a helmet-to-helmet hit by the defender. Reisner gave himself up and then slid, yes, personal foul on the defense. So, yes, Reisner gave himself up.
So he's going to have to come off the field for a play, it looks like.
Yes. Yes, he is. But right there, Reisner gave himself up, and then the defender decided he was going to fall forward, and did make that helmet-to-helmet contact. That's a very easy call for the official to make.
An easy call indeed, and an easy walk up for the Blaze offense as they'll now set up in Riverdale territory here at about the 47-yard line. Thomas is going to fake the handoff, and he's going to throw it across his body where it's going to be intercepted, and that's going to be the third pick six of the night for the Warrior defense as he walks it in for the touchdown.
Brandon Korn. And that is actually going to be the 35 points. So after the kickoff, this is going to start the running clock. But right there, Korn recognized, he read the eyes of Thomas right there, and just was right in the breadbasket. And he's not going to have an easier pick six all year.
Absolutely.
Or interception
and
for that matter.
We've seen these issues all night long, obviously, as that is the third interception to be returned for a touchdown. It's those throws that are going out to the far sideline that are messing with the Blaze quarterback, that are not messing with them, they're having trouble with them more. 41-6 here with a minute and a half to go in the third quarter as the extra point is up and good for the Warriors. 42-6 here with a minute and a half to go. In
so, yes, it is those that are outside the numbers, but as I will finish that thought as well on the other side of a break.
And when we come back, we'll hear what Zach's got to say, and we'll wrap up the third quarter of action here on the MTN Sports Game of the Week. Stick with us. We'll be back. Third quarter action from the Inferno after this.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight!
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh!
I'm going to that game.
Welcome back to the Game of the Week here on the NFHS Network. We've got the Blaze and the Warriors here in the Inferno. It's the backyard brawl. Zach, just for the Murfreesboro community itself, how important is getting back to this tradition of the backyard brawl, not only having high school football back, especially, after week 2, not getting to see any action, and then coming back to such a traditional game, as here we go here as he's going to take it across midfield, out across to the 45-yard line. Gosh, what a huge play coming off the kickoff. As 42-6, but the Blaze aren't going down without a fight.
Yeah, definitely. But what you were saying about the atmosphere tonight, it was a big atmosphere. Blackman Riverdale, this was hyped up as the game of the week in all of the Middle Tennessee area. And that's what you want in these type of games. You want, when Blackman and Riverdale play, you could see 30 minutes before the game, they were talking smack. They were so ready to play. They were ready to get going. And I think that kind of hurt the Blackmen just a little bit. They were too amped up, and that caused them to make a few mistakes. But Riverdale's offense, the defense took advantage.
Blaze offense line up at the left hash. They've got 3 wide receivers out wide to the right as there's going to be a huge pile up right at the line of scrimmage after Reisner goes for the handoff there. And it's going to be a gain of 1, if anything. Call it 2nd down and 9.
But again, this Riverdale defense has been opportunistic all night. They forced 5 turnovers. And they had 3 of those. They'd taken 3 of those in for 6. And they almost took, well, actually, I think they may have had 6 turnovers at this point with that last pick 6. So they've done a great job of forcing turnovers.
And there's going to be a screen out to the right side, and that's going to go for about 5 yards on the play as he's down inside the 40-yard line. Going to set up a 3rd down and short on the play. As that's going to wrap things up here for us in the 3rd quarter. And with that, we're going to take it to break as we've got the quarter break here. When we come back, we'll have 4th quarter action of Blackman and Riverdale, and we'll have the conclusion to the game after this.
Nothing is more expensive than a missed opportunity that could have changed your life. Maybe you're just graduating high school, or are working and need to earn a degree to advance your career. Or you aspire to be a leader, and a graduate degree can make that happen. Whether you're just starting out or retooling for the future, Middle Tennessee State University can help you get there. MTSU, the University of Opportunities.
3rd down and 5 here as we're back on the NFHS network. Reisner sends a man in motion across his left side, and it's going to be a screen thrown out to his wide receiver on the right sideline. That's going to drop incomplete, almost intercepted there again, and nothing in front of that Riverdale defender, Zach.
Exactly, yeah. So Riverdale's doing a great job of sniffing out these screens, and you see Thomas a few times force the screen, and that ended up in a couple of pick sixes. And then the last time you saw Reisner try and force a little bit of a wide receiver bubble screen, and he tried to force that as well. And then Riverdale's did a good job of reading it.
Peyton Thomas here on 4th down. He's going to scramble out to the left-hand side. The left-handed quarterback's going to send it across his body. He's got a man, and it's going to be marked down at the 33-yard line. And it looks like that's going to be enough for a Blaze 1st down.
Good job there. There was two wide receivers in the area, so it was almost guaranteed that one of them was going to catch it. But again, good job of Thomas right there, rolling out, finding the receiver, and then just putting it in the, breadbasket of the receiver.
1st and 10 here for the Blaze at the 34-yard line. He's going to send number 1 across to the right-hand side, and he's going to step up in the pocket, and he's got a guy down at the 25-yard line. And there's a flag down at about the 37-yard line on the play. Great pass again from Peyton Thomas, though.
Roughing the passer on the defense.
Roughing the passer on the defense.
But right now, what I love watching about Thomas is I keep saying, the electricity right there. He stepped up in the pocket, was moving towards line of scrimmage, sidearms it through 2 defenders, right on the money.
A little bit of Patrick Mahomes Super Bowl action, if you know what I'm saying.
They call him their version of Johnny Manziel with the long hair and everything. Instead of Manziel magic,
yep.
Thomas magic.
Absolutely. As the Blaze are again going to walk it up slowly up to about the 13-yard line where they'll have a 1st down. They're in striking distance here to get their 2nd score up of the game. And Reisner's back in as he's going to send one out to about the 10-yard line on the left sideline where it's going to drop incomplete. 2nd down and 10 to go.
So he tried to throw to the outside shoulder of Pleasant, and it was just a little bit too far for Pleasant to turn around and make a play on. But this is good. This is what you want to see from Blackman. You want to see them moving the ball.
Reisner's going to line up with Pleasant on his right hip, and he's going to throw it across the middle. And, he bobbles the ball on the play that was intended for Ben Marshall, and then it falls again. Another incomplete pass, 3rd down and 10, back on the 13-yard line. That could have been a score.
It could have been. And Marshall right now, he's struggling, and it's because he's not looking the ball into his hands. He is trying to figure out where he is on the field before he catches the ball. And if he looks those into his hands, it's a very, very easy catch.
When you're down there on the goal line and you're facing away from the end zone, you don't know where a hit's going to be coming from. So he was probably anticipating the hit on that one before looking the ball in.
Yes.
3rd down and 10 to go from the 13. They need the 3-yard line. Reisner drops back. He's going to air it out to the back of the end zone. And that was Marshall again who goes up for a one-handed catch. Was not able to come down with it.
Oh,
and there's going to be
right
a
now.
little bit of extracurricular going on in the end zone from Marshall and the Riverdale defender.
As you saw Reisner right there going in the middle of it, try and break it up. And right now, if you're, they are going to, are they? Yes, they are going for it.
And there's Thomas back on the field. Reisner and Thomas on the field, at least for the moment. Timeout, Blaze. So with that, we're going to send it to a break. When we come back, we'll see what the Blaze do here on 4th down and goal to go. We'll be right back on the NFHS Network after this.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight!
1, 2, 3, 4,
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh!
I'm going to that game.
Back here on the NFHS Network. 4th down and 10 to go. The Blaze still need the 3-yard line as Reisner's going to drop back and throw it to the corner of the end zone. And he's got a man. And is he going to come down with it? Yes, he is. Touchdown, Blaze. They draw a little bit closer here at the end of the 3rd quarter. Or, excuse me, just into the 4th quarter.
So another high point catch from Justin Brown on top of the receiver, mosses him, and now they have brought it to a 30-point game.
And number 64 for the Blaze, that was Evan Kramer. He just lifts him up into the air, does the little dirty dancing lift there as they are celebrating Brown getting involved into this offense. He was trying to make some explosive plays on both the offensive side and the special team side early on in the first half. Haven't heard a lot from him since then, but now we see him get involved here in the 4th quarter.
And the oddity in the football rulebook is when you get the point, if you score below 35 points, the clock actually stops. So we don't have a running clock for the rest of the, until, of course, if Riverdale wants to score again.
Extra point pending. It is now 12-42 in favor of the Warriors of Riverdale. And the Blaze are going to line up for a 2-point conversion over on the right hash. There's the snap. Reisner's going to fake the handoff, and it's going to be just out of the hands of number 12. Yeah, and now they were trying to go back to Justin Brown again for all 8 points there on that drive.
Right there, Brown did a little bit of a medium slant route again, and Reisner tried to thread the needle there, but he wasn't able to.
Got close. It was a good throw, but it had a lot of heat on it for it to be just out of place and out of the hands of Brown there. 42-12, 8 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter of the backyard brawl. Riverdale holding the lead here against Blackman. So for Riverdale, they're going to come out of this game with a lot of confidence. They had this one marked on their schedule just like Blackman did. And now for them to walk out of the backyard brawl here in 2021 with the edge and the big edge in this game, how huge is that for them as they continue into the 2nd phase of their season?
It's big in the quest for for your home playoff. I mean, right now this was a huge win. One of the better team. They just beat one of the better teams in the region this year by 30 points. I mean that gives any team confidence.
As we see the Blaze get ready for the kickoff here. Riverdale man deep. He's posted at about the 5-yard line, ready to return the kick. They're going to get the ball on the tee here.
That looks like that could be Seed Coleman.
On the kickoff?
On the return.
On the return, that's right. He's going to take the walk back. Couple steps over, going to chat it up with his special teams unit. And there it goes. It's going to be an onside kick attempt, it looked like. A little deep on the play, and it's going to go out of bounds, so that's going to be a delay of game on the play.
So the hope there was to bounce off number 21, Brandon Korn. And he almost did it. Almost did bounce off Korn, but just a little bit too much miles per hour on that one.
Those directional kicks, I don't know how they do it. I could never do it, but I have much respect for him to even put it in the wheelhouse of Korn there.
You see different methods. You saw the watermelon method from the Cowboys last year that worked. You see the where they kick the top of the ball and it takes that extra bounce. You see that more times than not. Or you have just the direct approach that we just saw where you kick as hard as you can at one defender and hope for the best.
The Warriors come out, and Lloyd and Holcomb are in the backfield once again, as they're going to hand it off to you-know-who. It's Lloyd on the play, and he's going to be stacked up right at midfield at the 50-yard line for no gain on the play. Second down and 10 with 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter of play.
And in the second half, Blackman's defense has done a very good job of meeting Lloyd in the hole and forcing him backwards.
Again, this scoreboard does not tell the whole story here for the Blackman defense.
The Blackman defense has been really good tonight, but Riverdale's defense has been even better.
Second down and 10 to go after no gain, after a short run from Lloyd.
It's going to be a false start.
It's going to be a false start. It looked like the left guard there on the play for Riverdale. It's going to set him back 5 yards, yes.
That was Hayden Chambliss there. He was trying to pull just a little bit too early there.
A little too early indeed, and that's going to set him back to the 45-yard line. Second down, 15 to go. Zach, even before the turnovers and stuff for the Blaze early on in this game, penalties started to cost them as we get set up here for second down and 15. And it's going to be a fake handoff, and it's going to be a sidearm throw out to number 74, and it's going to go for, number 24, and it's going to get down into Blaze territory to the 41-yard line.
And that is Richie Cathy, and Cathy's actually listed as a guard and a kicker.
Guard and a kicker. Well, the right guard coming out and getting a reception on the play for a big gain on the play. It's going to get him. It's going to make this a much more manageable third down and short.
Yes. And you were talking about the penalties. Yes, those were big penalties early in the game, and that really hindered Blackman their very first opening drive. And that's where Riverdale's defense thrives. When you're in the third and long situations, that is where they make their money.
Holcomb's going to hand it off to number 13 on the play, and it's going to be dropped for a loss of about 3 yards at the 46-yard line.
As Braden Woodworth on the carry, and now you have fourth and about 6. Again, this Blackman defense, they have played well tonight.
4th and 6 indeed, and it looks like the Riverdale offense is going to stay on the field as they're going to go for it here. Just keep the clock moving. Yeah, but between the penalties and the turnovers in the first half, you kind of saw this Blaze offense just start to deflate a little bit. Had a couple fireworks here late in the second half, but coming into the third quarter, that second and third quarter stretch, these guys just did not look like they were here.
And then the past 2 weeks, there's going to be a timeout, it looks like. No delay of game penalty. So they're going to take those 5 yards.
They're going to take the 5 yards and try and set up their punter.
Even last week, Riverdale scored 21 points in the third, but also 7 points in the second quarter. So they scored 28 points in those middle 2 quarters. And you saw a lot of that again tonight. Riverdale dominates that second and third quarter.
And so that's when the Blaze needed to be most present, and they were unable to show up tonight, and it's showing on the scoreboard this evening as they are down 42-12 here with 5.5 minutes to go as the Blaze are back to receive. It looks like it's Marshall back there, ready to receive the punt.
And give credit to Blackman's defense. They knew they had to be great in order to keep their offense into this game, and they have been.
There's the snap. Good hold, and the kick is away, and there's going to be a fair catch called for, but Marshall is going to be knocked down and spun around and fall onto his stomach, and he's probably got the wind knocked out of him, I imagine. He's going to go down on his back at about the 25-yard line, and with the injury on the field, we're going to step away for a moment. We'll be right back with more fourth quarter action after this.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight!
1, 2, 3, 4,
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2. Oh!
I'm going to that game.
Welcome back here, fourth quarter action as Thomas is going to fall down on the throw, but he's still going to complete it anyway to the near sideline as that's going to go out to number 3. That's Demicah Dowdy.
As it looks like Brown and Mackie Bonds were talking just a little bit. As Brown is shooting some arrows right here, and you see the official look at him tell him to knock it off. And there's an injured player.
It looks like that's number 11 for the Warriors.
That's Caleb Herring.
He's down on a knee here. We'll check in on him, see how he's doing.
Right there, as you saw, you saw Brown shoot those arrows.
And you said that was Caleb Herring as he is limping off the field at this point. I believe it's his right leg that he's favoring a little bit there. He is walking off on his own, though, so always happy to see that. As we're back here, second down for the Blaze. Second down and short. We'll call it 1. From the 46-yard line, Reisner's going to drop back. He's got a screen out to the left side, and he's going to be brought down.
And
there's going to be flags on the
mask.
play. Yeah, that's going to be a face mask or a horse collar, one of the two. Looked like he got the back of his helmet and maybe even that horse collar, but also possibly the face mask. Might be an unnecessary roughness.
Nah, that's a face mask. He got his hand around and then kept ripping.
Just kept ripping on. Was that number 1? I believe it was. It was Jalen Pleasant. Yep. Set up the halfback screen, and that's going to make a first down on the play for the Blaze.
That was a good job there of Thomas recognizing where the blitz was coming from and throwing it right there, throwing it right to Pleasant out of the backfield.
I believe that was actually Reisner on the throw. They've got Reisner in at the quarterback position once again.
Yes, Reisner.
So they're going to walk it up to about the 37-yard line, where Reisner takes the snap, and he's going to hand it off on the draw play back to Pleasant. Pleasant's going to make a move, make a spin, and go down at about the 34-yard line. So we'll call it a gain of 5 on the play.
A little bit of a halfback misdirection there. Ran to his left, stopped, stuttered, and then ran back to his right for a very good gain of 3 yards.
A solid 3 yards, to say the least, as Reisner drops back in the shotgun. He's going to step up in the pocket, and he's going to heave it downfield.
And that's going to be a
Pleasant,
holding.
yep, there's going to be a hold on the play. There's going to be a defensive hold and an automatic first down for the Blaze.
It looked like it was on number can't see that number. Is that
Pleasant
50?
Pleasant is there having an exchange with number 2, so it could have been.
It was 30. It was DeAndre Tate there on the coverage.
DeAndre Tate on the coverage.
Yes.
As we see Pleasant there.
Pass interference.
So they do call it pass interference, and it will be placed at the spot of the, just 15 yards at the end of the play. First down Blaze as Reisner drops back, and he's got a man out on the right side, and it's going to be dropped. It's going to be dropped by Demicah Dowdy to try and set up the quick play there on second down to no avail, and it's going to be second down. With 4:17 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Another one of those instances where Dowdy didn't look it into his hands, looked upfield before he came down with it. He had good blocking. He had a chance to make a big play of that.
Reisner's going to fake the handoff to Pleasant, and he's going to send it down to the end zone where he's got Marshall for a Blackman Blaze.
No, they're down. He's calling him down.
He's calling him down inside the 1-yard line.
But that's
from our angle, it did not look like he stepped out of bounds, but potentially, I guess the official saw something we didn't.
It was really close on the sideline. That was a good throw by Reisner, and Thomas made that catch. You know, he has struggled at points tonight bringing the ball in, but he did a good job of recognizing where he was on the field and getting that 1 foot down, and then, getting almost into the end zone.
That is going to set up a first down for the Blaze.
Touchdown.
As now it's going to be a touchdown by Jalen Pleasant, who's going to run it in through a couple of defenders, but not much of a challenge there.
Yeah, right there. That was a good job of the left tackle and left guard, creating a hole in that B gap.
And now with the score, that's going to make it 18-42. Riverdale still holding a substantial lead, but the Blaze not going down without a fight, as they're putting on a show here for the Inferno crowd this evening.
And yes, you can say that this is some people refer this as garbage time when the scores may be out of hand, but this is really where you see a character of your team. When you're down by a lot, it's very easy right here just to run the ball 5-6 times and say, hey, we're going to go home. This tonight just isn't our night.
And now with the Blaze just getting on the board there, we're going to take it to break as we have a timeout on the field. When we come back, we'll have more Blackman and Riverdale action here in the Backyard Brawl on the NFHS Network. Stick around. And the Blaze line up now for the 2-point conversion.
Wildcat.
As it's going to be that Wildcat formation, and it's going to be handed off out of the Wildcat and stuffed at about the 2-yard line. No good on the 2-point conversion. So our score remains 42-18.
Right there, they handed off to Demicah Dowdy, and he tried to lower his head and get into the end zone, but that was a good job of the 2 Riverdale defenders there. Couldn't see their numbers of lowering their shoulders, getting lower than Dowdy, and forcing him back.
He was going to need some more power from that Blaze offensive line to be pushing on his back for him to get in there. So 42-18, 4 minutes and 1 second to go here in the fourth quarter, 18-42 in favor of the Warriors, who are getting ready to receive the kick. Zach, if you're Coach Tygard over there on that sideline now, what are you telling your team in the last 4 minutes of this game?
You tell them, guys, there's still time on the scoreboard. We have plenty of time. Well, we have plenty of time to keep going out there and get our offense ready and get our offense right for next week. Yes, we've struggled tonight. Yes, we struggled, but we've been able to move the ball the past few drives. Let's just get ourselves some momentum, and let's not quit fighting. That should be something that every coach tells their team. Don't quit fighting, guys. There's still time on the clock, and you never stop until the last whistle because you never know what's going to happen.
As they are lined up for the kick now, Riverdale return man is back to receive around the 25-yard line. as it's going to be a squibbed kick, or excuse me, an onside kick, and it's going to be recovered by the Warriors at midfield. 1st and 10 for the Warriors at the 50-yard line. Heading from left to right across your screen.
Look for a steady dose of run plays up the middle from Marcus Lloyd.
See Floyd bring it on home and try and take this one to the promised land. We'll see what Riverdale brings to the table here on 1st and 10 from the midfield stripe. And there he is. Floyd is lined up on the right hip of Holcomb. Or, excuse me. Yes, James Holcomb, yes. Second guess myself there, buddy.
Yeah, as Lloyd got that 1-yard gain, look for them to just try and milk the 40 seconds, and then a first down basically will end the game here, basically.
They can run this down, as you said, to the fullness of the play clock each and every play. They should be able to get out of here with the victory in no time. As it's now 2nd down and 8 to go from the 48-yard line in Blaze territory. 3:20 to go here. As Holcomb's just going to let this one run all the way down to 1 second before snapping it, and he's going to hand it off to Floyd again, who's going to make a move out to the left side. And he's going to go down for a gain of 1 here at the 47-yard line. We'll call it 3rd and 7 to go.
Yeah, and again, they're doing a good job right now of closing that B gap for Lloyd. Lloyd's getting met every time in that gap, and he's getting stood up right now. Good job from the Blackman's defense, but again, Lloyd's been the playmaker of the night on the opposite side of the ball for Riverdale.
I believe I said Floyd a couple of times. I've meant to say Lloyd, of course. Yeah, Marcus Lloyd, the senior running back here for the Riverdale Warriors, has been everything more than impressive tonight, as he's put on quite a powerhouse display, carrying defenders with him left and right across the Inferno turf here, as it's now a 3rd down and long to go after the penalty on the play.
And then he carried the defenders again. He's initially got hit behind the line of scrimmage and carried the defenders for a 5-yard gain. Oh, as Lloyd gets up a little slow.
Lloyd does get up a little slow there. It's going to be a 4th down and short to go. Call it a 4th and about 3 at the 43-yard line. As now we'll see got a timeout on the field as we see the Warriors go to their sideline, and we're going to take it to a break real quick. We'll be right back with 1:45 to go here in the 4th quarter of action. We'll be right back. Blackman, Riverdale, game conclusion.
Here at MTN Sports.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight!
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2.
I'm going to that game.
Welcome back here to the MTN Sports Game of the Week coverage on the NFHS Network. It's Blackman, it's Riverdale, it's 42-18 in favor of the Warriors here with 1:55 to go. As the punt is away, it's going to bounce at about the 15-yard line of the Blaze, where it's going to be fallen on. And Riverdale is pointing to say they have the ball, and they do have the ball inside the 5-yard line of the Blaze. Wow, the turnovers and the special teams unit, it's just, at that point, they're just catching the Blaze off guard. And
that was German Herald right there. If you're Herald, you got to let that one just bounce. You got to let that one let your offense take over.
Bounces inside the 5-yard line. You let it go into
yeah.
the end zone, let them run this clock
Or
out. Now, Riverdale's got the ball inside the 5-yard line. They're tempted to score.
Yeah. Or, I mean, just the ball's going to be down to 3 anyways. You didn't do anything by picking it up there. So when there's 4 or 5 guys around you, you just need to go ahead and let that go.
So now we'll see Holcomb and Lloyd both out there once again for the Warriors as they'll try and punch it in, and they are going to. The second effort is enough on the first down run right up the middle. That's a touchdown for the Warriors, and that's going to make it 48-18.
3 touchdowns last week, and I think that's his 3rd tonight.
I believe you are correct. So if that is right, in the past 2 weeks alone, that's 6 scores from Lloyd. What a dominant force he has been for this Riverdale offense. And we've seen it in full force tonight. As you said, 3 scores, and definitely on his way to one of his better games of the season. As now the Warriors line up for the extra point. Holcomb holds. It's up and good. 49-18. Riverdale over Blackman with 1:39 to go here in the 4th quarter of action. The Blaze will get the ball at least one more time.
Definitely, and there is a flag.
Got a flag thrown at about the 13-yard line.
On sportsmanlike conduct on the Riverdale right there.
So that will be enforced on the kickoff.
So they will be kicking off from about the 25-yard line here.
So hypothetically, they kick it off from the 25-yard line. The Blaze are probably going to recover it around the 40, 45-yard line. They're set up around midfield. Maybe they try and go down and get one more score tonight.
Definitely. So if you're, I was about to say, because the officials initially placed the ball at the 40-yard line. So they are going to mark off those 15 yards and then kick it off. But I mean, just do what you can at this drive. You have 1:39 seconds.
Do what you can with this drive, and as we talked about earlier, just get something good on film. Get something good on film in preparation. Be thinking about next week. The load does get a little bit lighter for the Blaze as they get it ready on the tee at about the 25-yard line. And we're just about set for the kick here. Warriors kicker is back deep, and he's going to start his pursuit for the ball, and he's going to kick it. It's going to be fielded cleanly at the 30-yard line, and it's going to be brought out to the 40. And that's where the Blaze will ignite their last flame for the evening. 1:35 to go here in the 4th quarter of action.
So Blackman next week, they go on the road and they play at Summit. And then they come back home and they play at Stewart's Creek, which is their 3rd home game of the year, which is their 2nd to last. And they play Antioch at home that following Friday. And that is their last home game of the year, believe it or not.
Already getting closer and closer to that last home game of the year. It just seems like we started yesterday, Zach, to this football season. As on first down, Reiser's going to drop back and throw it across the middle, and it's going to drop incomplete on first down. So, Zach, you said for Blackman they're going on the road next week, correct? They're going to Summit?
Yes.
So that will be the first time that they will play a road game, as last week would have been the first time that they would have been on the road. But as we all know, their game against Gallatin in Gallatin was canceled due to COVID last week. So this will be the first time Coach Tygard takes his team on the road.
Yeah, and it's going to be a different experience.
They're not here in the Inferno, yeah.
Playing away from home is always tough. As
second down here as Reisner drops back, and he's got a man chasing him, as that's going to be complete.
Incomplete.
Just kidding. It was incomplete as it's dropped at the last second by number 8.
I think that was spiked to him right there.
Yeah, it was James Hayes who tried to make a play on that ball that was low and on the ground. It was just in a spot where only Hayes could get it. Wasn't able to come up with it, though. 3rd down and 10 to go from the 39-yard line. The Blaze need to make it to the B on the midfield stripe for a 1st down, and that's going to be intercepted back at the 36-yard line, where the Warriors are going to take it down to the turf here in the Inferno, and that should all but wrap things up here. A couple knees taken by Holcomb, and we should be out of here.
And then looking at Riverdale's schedule, they play Shelbyville Central at home next week, at home against Rockville before they go away to Smyrna, who Blackman plays next week. I mean, Riverdale did what they were supposed to do. They came in here and really they dominated from start to finish.
And while Riverdale is going to be at home next week, they do not have it easy with a Shelbyville Central team who has looked very impressive early on this year. Always puts up a good record. As there's going to be a flag here on 1st down for Riverdale. But yeah, looking at Riverdale, they're going to walk out of this game 3-0 undefeated. That winning streak is still intact. And for the Blaze, they're going to suffer their first loss of the year after their forfeit win last week from Gallatin resulted in a win. And then, of course, their Brentwood underdog victory in week 1.
Victory formation.
Victory formation, to say the least, for the Riverdale Warriors.
They should be able to take this down and then take one more knee to take us into this one. Again, Riverdale did exactly what they're supposed to do, and their defense shined. Shined brighter than a star tonight. Just from pick sixes to interceptions to Herring ripping the ball away from Ben Marshall. Just, they forced turnover after turnover after turnover.
They're going to close in on the 40-second mark, which is where Holcomb will take that last snap. And he's going to stumble out of the backfield there, and it looks like that's going to be the last snap. Maybe one more on the play.
No,
that's going to do it. That is going to wrap it up. The teams are going to head to each sideline. And the coaches will start to make their trot out to midfield where they'll shake hands. And with that, the backyard brawl comes to a conclusion as Riverdale tops Blackman here in the Inferno by a score of 49-18. For Coach Tygard, this is his first loss of the year here in the Inferno, as we're seeing some little bit of extracurricular here from teams as they shake hands. But nonetheless, they're out there shaking hands, showing good sportsmanship. As we thought this one was going to be a little chippy, as we've got 6A regional action here wrapping up for the first time this evening. And it was every bit of what we expected. We had a chippy matchup, but these guys, as you talked about in pregame, they hate each other.
Yeah, they do. And as you saw the extracurricular activities boil over a few times, but all in all, this was a very well-played game. Wasn't many extracurricular activities. It's just they controlled their emotions, and that is what Coach Tiger wanted to see out of Blackman, and I'm sure that's what Riverdale wanted to see as well. Can they control their emotions in a high-stake game like this one?
Speaks a lot about a young team for sure when they can control their emotions like that. Absolutely. Zach, what are some of your big takeaways from tonight's game? Let's start with Blackman.
Blackman, I mean, their defense played really well. The score's 49-18. If you just look at the score and say, oh, well, their defense didn't show up tonight. No, Blackman's defense was the highlight of the night if you're Coach Tiger. They forced stop after stop after stop. There were times they were pinned inside their own 15, and they forced stops. The only thing about their defense is they weren't able to get off the field on third downs. That is something that needs to be corrected. But if you're on the offense, you wipe away this game. You look at it one time and say, hey, that game's over. We beat Brentwood. Let's go to the next one.
And on the other side of the ball for Riverdale?
I mean, Riverdale's defense, I mean, what can you say about that? I mean, what was it? The three pick sixes, one strip fumble, two more interceptions. They forced Reisner and Thomas in uncomfortable situations all night. And that's really what they're good at. Herring got in the face of Reiser and Thomas multiple times, causing interceptions. Just the Blackman offensive line wasn't able to create enough, protection at times.
Absolutely. So with that, we are going to sign off for tonight's broadcast from all of our MTN Sports crew and the NFHS Network. Thank you for joining us. A huge thank you to Blackman High School for once again hosting us for Week 3 action. From my broadcast partner, Zachary Lone, I'm Noah Brady signing off with MTN Sports. This has been the Game of the Week coverage here on the NFHS Network. Be sure to join us next week, and we'll see you then.
Here at MTN Sports, you could say we're a bit competitive.
All right, boys, I got a media pass for the big game this weekend. Who's covering it? 6 feet apart. Fight!
1, 2, 3, 4,
Let me guess. Who's shooting this weekend? The funny thing is, I've got 2.
I'm going to that game.